Down there to our right, and they outnumber Club 1871 quite heavily, and then there's a couple of thousand in the far east stand, the Sir John Medeski stand, and that's it. No occupation in this side of the ground. Referee this afternoon, Thomas Kirk, has a look at his watch, blows his whistle. Reading kick things off. Vickers rolls it back to Nelson Abbey, the captain this afternoon, who thumps it long downfield towards Makaru, and there's a jump from Ehi Batiuman trying to link it up with Elliott, and he gets a glance on it and it rolls out of play for a goal kick. So if you are just joining us, here is the Reading team. It's Joel Pereira, all in black to my left. He's making his debut for Reading today, the goalkeeper. And then you've got Tivongi Rashesha playing at right back, Tyler Bindon and Nelson Abbey in central defence, and Matty Carson out at left back. That is such a young defence. You would not believe how young that back four is. Sam Hutchinson brings some experience in central midfield. Lewis Wings playing ahead of him, Paul Makaru and Ben Elliott, and then you've got Kelvin Ehi Batiuman and Caelan Vickers. Here come MK Dons, out from Alex Gilby, the captain, to the right hand side. Now lifts the head and just strolls it out to this right hand side again. I'm just trying to mix it up a little bit. Gilby, the captain, in midfield. Down it goes from Harvey. MK Dons in attack, and preventing the corner was Tyler Bindon. He's put it out instead for a throw. So an MK Dons throw. Tommy Smith takes it short, and then it's won back by Reading, and Smith will take another throw from the same spot on the pitch. And Glenn Little, I'll get you to try and fathom what formation Reading is playing at the moment. Not always easy at the moment. That's a good
confident start from MK Dons.
Yeah, nice little back heel to the corner of the Reading penalty box, a foot on it from Sam Hutchinson, but MK Dons still have possession, and across the midfield they go. So yeah, definitely you're liking the look of the MK Dons start more than the Reading start.
Well,
here.
just we haven't touched it, have we?
Out to the left it goes. Reading on the back foot, nice little spin. Here come MK Dons, shot comes off and it's volley clear, only as far as the corner of the Reading penalty box. Harvey tries to deliver back in, then drops it back out. Here comes Tommy Smith and Harvey linking up down the left hand side with Lecco, Jonathan Lecco, and it'll be cleared out by Reading. A foul won by Elliott, free kick. But yeah, MK Dons just popping around.
MK Dons, yeah, we took the kick off and hadn't seen the ball since, and yeah, very confident. Even the goalkeeper with the centre back in the 6-yard box, they stood on it, and you're expecting them to play out. That's exactly what they did, and they worked up the pitch well. ISO in particular, stand out so far.
Cleared only initially by Hutchinson. Reading have the possession though, which is a bit of a relief after a difficult first few minutes in this game. Here's the spin from wing. Ehi Batiuman on the shoulder of the last defender, wriggles into the penalty box. Here's his shot, 1-0 Reading! Kelvin Ehi Batiuman from 16 yards out, got it onto his right foot and picked his spot, fires it home with lots of pace. Kelly beaten, and it's a start that Reading much needed with all the problems on and off the pitch. It's Reading 1, MK Dons 0, and we've only had 3 minutes.
Lovely finish, Tim, wasn't it? We just said MK Dons, confident start by them. Good move to work up the pitch, but then our first attack, it was in behind, wasn't it? And El Batiuman, he's turned inside with the Ronaldo chop, as we say, onto his right foot and finished it inside the near post. Really good goal.
Great start for Reading. It's a long way to go yet. Reading have this habit though, with this very young side in cup competitions. They're entirely capable of running riot. We've seen that at Millwall, we saw that down at Exeter, we saw it against Swindon.
Spoke about this last week, Tim. You'd rather had the 3 points, but there's still a game to play, isn't it? And you said how important it is money wise to even get even through one cup game.
Yeah, if you get a £41,000 prize money, get your name in the hat for the draw tomorrow. 2:30, the draw tomorrow. It's after the Chesterfield against Portsmouth game on the telly, and Reading will be hoping that they're in that draw. And Joel Pereira, this is the first time he's touched the ball, and his team already 1-0 up, making his debut in goal for Reading today, Pereira, but he's been a spectator for most of it. We had said that the first couple of minutes, I mean, that was the first move of any consequence that Reading had in the game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
First few passes.
First attack, it was just the confidence started. Be interesting now to see if that will just knock MK Dons a bit.
And if you're looking at that as a striker, I mean, Ehi Batiuman, that was a terrific bit of work. He had the pace to get to it. and he timed his run to stay onside. Then he had the skill, and then he had the finish, and he can't get in the first team for league football.
And he had that start to the season, Tim. Then I saw it come up, the first player to score 5 goals by September since Leroy Lita, wasn't it, in the 106 season?
Man.
So, yeah, it was in good company there, but unfortunately just hasn't been able to get anything going. Like you said, stop-start, Tim, isn't he?
He's not been picked enough, has he? I mean, if you've got a ability like that in the locker, in the tank, you should be pretty much first on the team sheet, shouldn't you? Yeah,
but like you said, the running behind first and still had a bit to do, but the turn inside the little back heel sort of Cruyff sold the defender, and then had the comfortable finish as well, wasn't it? Still had a bit to do, but just what we needed.
Delighted as I am, it just begs the question, why isn't Kelvin Ehi-Batuman starting every week?
No, I didn't know, Tim, because the last game I was at with the Bolton win, he did start, didn't he? Were they talking about maybe injured as well? Did he pick up a knock, Tim? I saw
little bits and pieces of that, but Sam Smith and Dom Ballard have started games recently. The last game that Ehi-Batuman started was against Charlton, but before that he'd missed a few games as well. He didn't play in the Swindon Cup game, for instance, the EFL Trophy game against Swindon. Anyway, it's good news. We can be.
But if you've got a point to prove, Tim, then that's what you do, isn't it? As a centre forward, you score goals.
It wasn't even a chance, but he turned it into a chance. He fashioned the chance, and he took it really well. So Reading 1-0 up. We'll be off to Cambridge in a moment, and off to Oxford as well. University games today. Out on the right-hand side, corner of the penalty box, O'Hara, and on the corner of that penalty box, MK Dons reeling just a little bit after a slow start to this game. Here's Harvey Nibbs, good ball through to Wing 25 yards out. His pass this time to Ehi-Batuman doesn't reach the big striker, and it's cleared away by the MK Dons defence. Bit of space. Carson needs to do some work out on that far side. I'm still going to ask you about the formation, by the way, Glenn. I'll ask you about that after this attack. We'll just watch MK Dons in possession, but there's plenty to get our teeth into with the formation and how you see it. I think it's different again, but I'll get your take on it. In the midfield, here's Devoy back into his own half. Under game's ground to a halt because MK Dons have got possession in their own half, and Reading are refusing to move into the half to press. They're going to play a half-court press, to use basketball parlance. On the left-hand side, here's Jonathan Lecco. Tries to drive into the Reading penalty box. Reading defend it well. Out it goes to Elliott. Elliott just goes past the first defender, plays a tricky ball to Ehi-Batuman, who keeps on chasing, ends up in a heap on the ground. Wasn't fouled though.
Unlucky.
Elliott turned away beautifully, didn't he? And then just
good turn. And he's on the right hand side. We definitely know that. Ehi-Batuman, he's up front on his own, and Vickers is just floating around, isn't he?
More to the left. Do you count that? Go on then. What have we got here? Is that a 2?
It's out of possession. That's a 4-4-2, isn't it? Out of possession.
Out of possession, yeah.
And then they drop back in just a minute. They are mixing it up.
So out is 4-4-2, and in, we'll have to try and work that out. Can you not just? Does that not? What do you count it as when you're doing the terminology of a formation? Do you count it when you're in or out of possession?
Well, you're 4-4-2, but then you see Vickers. Look, he's just dropping back. And now you've just left the one up front.
So now you're out of possession. You've definitely.
He's sitting back in. So it's just mixing it up, Tim, isn't it? You got the goal. You want to be hard to beat. So now you make it a 5 in there, don't you? Now you become a 4-5-1.
It's a tricky one to describe, but basically it's slightly different when Reading have the ball and when Reading don't have the ball. I had to text AD and Mick after the game last Saturday to try and find out A, what formation they thought it was, and B, what they thought Ruben thought it was, if that makes sense. Let's slip over to the Oxford game, shall we? We've got a game, Maidenhead against Oxford. AD's watching, and AD, any goals in yours so far?
8 minutes in, I'll tell you what, a really decent start by Maidenhead for the first 3 minutes or so. They had much of the possession, but Oxford, as you would expect, the League One side, second in League One as well, flying high, won 10 of their 15 league fixtures. They're on the ball, and they're playing a system where Maidenhead are looking a little bit ragged at the moment, particularly down the sides. Oxford are a little bit how can I say it, on top, let's put it that way, because Maidenhead won us twice. You know, the goalkeeper's made a half-decent save and 1 or 2 of the defenders last-ditch defending, but it is still 0-0 here. 8 minutes in, Oxford 0, Maidenhead 0.
MK Dons take a quick throw on the right-hand side, trying to link up into the Reading penalty box. Tracking back well is Vickers, who puts it out for the first corner of the afternoon. Good work from Vickers, who had run from high there.
Isn't it? Yeah, that's what I mean. You tuck back in, you got to get back behind the ball, because the goal hasn't knocked MK Dons, has it? They're still stroking the ball around well with confidence.
So Devoy goes across to the right-hand side to strike the first corner of the afternoon in. After 10 minutes, Reading 1-0 up. Crowded around the edge of the Reading 6-yard box. Played short, and they play it all the way back towards the centre circle. It was a pretty poor routine. Now they've converted what was a decent moment with a set play into pressured defending on the halfway line. Here's Vickers with a little touch down to Carson. Reading trying to battle on, and challenges fly in, intruding from Carson on the halfway line. It's late. MK Dons have got a free kick, and there was an earlier collision of bodies on one of the MK Dons players on that far side. I think it might be Cameron Norman, who's down with some sort of injury there, so we're going to have a delay in play, and we can nip off to the Abbey Stadium and find out what's happening. Cambridge against Bracknell. Here's Rita Green.
Cambridge United 0, Bracknell Town 0. Dominant play really from the Robins so far, and only 5 minutes played in this one, Tim. The only slight blot is that Elliot Legg, the defender, is already on a yellow card after 3 minutes, a mistimed tackle. But the Robins are really looking confident. As a reminder, they've won 3 of their last 4, and that confidence is oozing through. So far, just 5 minutes played in this one. It's 0-0 here up in Cambridge.
Reading 1, MK Dons 0. 11 and a half minutes gone here at the SCL, and MK Dons have some possession again, deep in their half. Played across to Tommy Smith on the left-hand side. He rolls it back to the goalkeeper Kelly, closed down quickly by Ehi Batiaman, and Kelly makes a mess of the ball out to the right. It bounces out of play for a throw to Reading, which will be taken by Carson. That rainbow is still
trying,
very bright,
yes. Yeah, we're in the shade, Tim, but on the far side for the supporters, it'd be quite nice with that sun. It's just going in now, isn't it? I'm not sure how long the rainbow's going to last.
Yes, we've definitely had a enjoyable 10 or 15 minutes of the rainbow on that far side, but I think with the sun gone, it might be the last of it. Here's Pereira in his own penalty box, right-footed, clears his lines. Big day for Joel Pereira, who's had a spell on crutches recently, got injured when not actually playing, just a training ground injury the other day, but he's back now and able to take his place in goal. Here come MK Dons with Devoy down the left-hand side. Strokes the ball into the D that Reading defend. It's a bit too easy inside the penalty box for MK Dons. All the Reading defenders had stopped as Gilby, the captain, picked it up and ran into the penalty box. He's now prevented from creating any more trouble, and Elliott's back pass to Pereira just created a little bit of tension in the crowd.
Yeah, he did well. He won the ball, and then I think he just had a little bit of a heart attack there, Tim, when he saw it roll back to the goalkeeper.
Need to get Elliott on the ball as much as possible. Very highly rated attacking midfielder as the ball goes through to Kelly. So Reading beat Watford in the third round last season. Obviously Reading a championship club last season, and beat Watford 2-0 in the third round. Last FA Cup game, Manchester United. That was the last time Reading played in the FA Cup. They lost 3-1 at Old Trafford. Here comes a cross for MK Dons. Tyler Bindon gets back, and with a bit of help from the right back Rashisha, he clears. He batted
really well.
That, Glenn, just tell us exactly what he did so well there, because that was
lovely.
Brilliant.
He had 2 men round him, Tim, off the chest, nice and strong, and he's turned inside, and blatant trip, and he's hurt himself. The MK Dons player, wasn't sure who it was, but good hold up play. That's what you want when you're up front on your own. You got to be big and strong. You got to do bit of everything, Tim. You got to come short, you got to hold it, you got to get in behind like he did for the goal. Yeah, it's not easy to play up front on your own, but that was good play. And the MK Dons player, he's taken one on the ankle, still down. And the Manchester United, that happened though. That's happened quite a few times over the years, Tim. Even going back to my time, we had a replay. Didn't we? Had that famous game here, was it, with 3-0 down, and Brenner hit the bar
Where
to make it 3-3
set
would have
up
been the equaliser.
replay. Do you remember he scored the header?
Scored the header at Old Trafford,
Yeah.
and then I'm even thinking 3 times since then in recent times. And with Jaap Stam, did he play
took his
United?
team there, yeah. So
I don't think any of them have gone very well, but nice day out up at the Theatre of Dreams, although might not much dreaming going on there at the minute.
just a quick word about Ruben Sellers' FA Cup record. Brace yourself for this. Ruben Sellers has been in charge of one game previously in FA Cup football when he was at Southampton last season.
Third round.
So Southampton were in the Premier League at the time. This was actually fifth round. They got through a couple.
So
it was in March.
Oh, so they got there and then he took over.
Yeah, so he took over between the fourth and the fifth round.
Yeah.
They played Grimsby and they lost 2-1.
Right.
And Southampton were the Premier League club, and Grimsby in those days National League, weren't they? I think.
No, last season they'd been League Two for a few years. Yeah, but it's still, whatever way you look at it, it's a shocker. Tim, but that can happen at the FA Cup. We've probably had one of our worst results in the history. A few years ago, Kidderminster. That's a shocker, wasn't it? That
was the third round of the FA Cup. You and I went to that game.
They were Conference North as well. They weren't even National League, were they?
Yeah. The equivalent of Maidenhead's level in those days.
We're talking about rock bottom, Tim. We have had plenty of times where we felt maybe it was rock bottom and maybe not.
Let's nip across very quickly to the Kassam Stadium. Here's Adi.
Oxford 1, Maidenhead 0. It was coming, like I said. Maidenhead actually started the game very well, but for the last 7 or 8 minutes or so, it's all been Oxford. 1 or 2 half chances, but Billy Bowden has just slotted it in. Looks half marginal offside, but the linesman's flag remained down. No VAR, of course, here at the Kassam Stadium. So what are we? Around about 15 minutes on the clock. Oxford lead Maidenhead by a goal to 0.
Still 1-0 to Reading. 16 minutes gone. Ehi Batuman controlling it in the MK Dons penalty box. Goes out to the right hand side. Makaru to Vickers. Vickers unable to sneak away from the defenders on that right hand side, and it's well tidied up by Cameron Norman. His clearance only as far as the midfield though. Hutchinson plays it back to the halfway line. Nelson Abbey, the Reading captain, to the 18-year-old New Zealand international Tyler Bindon. Hutchinson to Vickers. Vickers now goes back to Nelson Abbey, and Reading with some possession in the centre circle and looking tidy on the ball. Here's Rashisha. Elliott is going to win a throw, and that doesn't impress the MK Dons manager Mike Williamson at all.
I thought it was the ricochet off his foot as he lost the ball, but you take it first bit of possession that we've really had, Tim, isn't it? We've been sort of got the early goal and we've been sat in.
Mike Williamson, the former Newcastle central defender, who's been in charge of Gateshead until this season. Gateshead, who he got right up, in fact he got promotion to the National League with Gateshead, and has now got this go at MK Dons. They sacked Graham Alexander after just 16 games in charge. MK Dons, they've had 4 head coaches in 10 months, so we think we've got problems. And
do you know what? I didn't realise that was the case. I know was it the season before, they actually did really well. Tim, it looked like they could have a promotion, and then last season I think was a bit of a shock. I think they lost a few, maybe 3 or 4 of their best players, didn't they? And then they just never recovered and went down last season. He's still struggling. He's the one who went down.
Jack Tucker, central defender,
and he's hobbling away. The
ball rolled into him, and he just hoofed it into the crowd, completely unnecessary. Now he's sitting down, and I think that's the last we'll see.
He'll probably go off. Yeah, that was. Yeah, have some of that. Get it off the pitch. My ankle's still sore.
So Reading 1-0 up, and they're going to have to make a change here. MK Dons in central defence. Tucker sat down, and the referee came across him, and he's hobbling over. And presumably they've got a player stripped and ready to go.
No, they haven't, though. And the dugout doesn't seem like it's doing a lot.
There are 9 substitutes named for FA Cup football. Plenty of options.
How times change, yeah.
Plenty of options for Mike Williamson here. We'll wait to see what he does. I'll tell you what, also there's a decent delay. Shall we nip back across to the Abbey Stadium and find out if it's still 0-0 between Cambridge and Bracknell? Here's Rita.
Cambridge 0, Bracknell Town 0. It's been a feisty affair so far, Tim, in the absolute pouring rain. You've got rainbow, I've got pouring rain here, but the Robins are doing a decent job of playing attacking, flowing football. 3 yellow cards so far in 15 minutes. It's one of those games, and so far 0-0 and an even affair.
Jack Payne replacing Jack Tucker for MK Dons, who are 1-0 down here at the SCL. That's the replacement. You haven't missed a kick of the ball because we're waiting for this substitution to be made by the visitors. And Reading at the moment in control. That can only help Reading's cause, can't it? The fact there's an enforced change.
And it was his own fault, wasn't it? He was the one who committed the foul on the Hibati man, but he's come off second best, and he tried to run it off, but he's gone down again, and now he's off, Tim.
So Oxford 1-0 up against Maidenhead. We just heard from Rita there that Cambridge 0-0 against Bracknell, and it's 1-0 to Reading here. Tomorrow's Slough against Grimsby. On the right hand side, Ehi Batuman wrestled to the ground. Play on, says the referee, and MK Dons have shifted the ball up very well here. Back to the Reading goalkeeper it goes, but they got it up to the halfway line very stylishly.
Yeah, I think if he didn't give the foul there, then he couldn't give it for the MK Dons. He looked, I think both sets of supporters wanted the foul.
Infield, Carson comes. He keeps on running and plays it back to Bindon.
That was nice.
Just when it was getting tight, but he got to the centre circle and then rolled it off to Bindon. It's back with Bindon from Elliott. Elliott considers going crossfield and then thinks better of that. Back to Pereira. And this is the joy of being 1-0 up, isn't it? Do you think they're playing with a lot more carefree abandon because it's not 3 points up for grabs?
Yeah, maybe. It's in FA Cup and there's not a big crowd in.
Here's Elliott from the edge of the box. Elliott takes it into the box on the right-hand side. A trick. And is that a foul? Really? Assistant referee flagging. I thought Elliott had control of the ball and he got his body in the way of it.
They just got men round him, didn't they? And I don't think there was anything wrong with any. It was just a tackle, and but the referees decided to give it. I think the linesman, he went off the linesman. Yes. He was the one who gave it, but
he may rue not pulling the trigger there, Elliott. He was 20 yards out. I thought he was going to have a hit at goal. I haven't been blessed with an enormous amount of penalty box action so far, have we? As Hutchinson suddenly slides in and fortunately missed the player and the ball, then wades into another challenge.
Yeah, that's strong.
He's not shy of a challenge,
no. That one as well, when you stay on your feet, it was a bit of everything there.
Yes.
Tim, when it kicked the ball out of play, I'll leave one on you. And yeah, I think it was Alex Gilby. He wasn't too happy. He said to the ref, he's a bit strong, that was.
Certainly was, yeah. He slid into the first challenge, and in the second challenge he made sure he took everything. And Hutchinson,
because he stood up, he was on his feet. It didn't look that bad, Tim, did it?
No.
It was just a strong challenge.
Lashed into it. Elliott, really good touches from Elliott. Is that a free kick? No. Referee says play on. Elliott pushed off the ball, and here come MK Dons down their left-hand side, carried forward by Harvey. Harvey goes square into the box now, caught by Pereira on his near post. A shot from the top of the penalty box, first time from Gilby, the captain, and Pereira makes a comfortable save.
Yeah, Devoy just directed it. He was at full stretch. He directed it into his path, but Gilby, side foot he went for. Maybe he should have cut across it and got a better strike on it, but a comfortable save for Pereira. First real effort on goal for the MK Dons.
Quarter of the game gone. Reading 1-0 up into the draw as things stand, but a long way to go here at the SCL. Down the right hand side, Elliott chases it. He'll be disappointed with his last couple of contributions.
Yeah, lost it in the midfield, didn't he? And it was a good break by MK Dons, probably their best counter attack they've had so far.
Ben Elliott, who we heard from before kick-off, another teenager in this Reading team. Teenagers all over the pitch.
Have you ever known it as team as young? You probably can't have
before this season.
No.
We've had a few outings where the average age has been pretty much bang on 20 years old.
Apart from maybe cup games, back in my day when we gave even then you still, like the gaffer, he'd make lots of changes, but we'd still have 5 or 6 out there.
Yes,
didn't we?
So experienced, genuine first team players who are just needing a game. Back pass cleared. Reading with Rashisha, plays it short to Elliott with a brilliant pass. It goes straight through to Vickers, who's about 5 yards offside, so he sensibly lets it roll past him.
Yeah, he saw it quickly though, Tim. That was the main thing, was it? He saw the pass was on. He doesn't know that he's offside, but Vickers, he's just coming back, isn't he? He just let it go.
I'll tell you who I was talking about the other week. Marek Matiowski.
Matiowski.
He could see a pass.
Talking about someone, no Gilby there, what I said. He should have cut across it and struck it. He hit the one at Anfield. That stands out for me. That was a strike, Tim, wasn't it? There was no side foot in that. 15
years ago, Czech Republic international for Reading in midfield, Marek Matiowski. Presumably you played a bit with him, did you? Or was he
that was a year. No, that was the injured season.
Yeah. He was good.
There was a few I never got really the chance to play with.
Here's Rashisha down the right-hand side, carries the ball past the first one. Now he's got some space to cross, delivers in, and the ball hits the defender and goes out for a corner to Reading. And Rashisha carried it well there, down the right-hand side, got away from the midfielder, and then when he hit the cross in, it bounces out for a corner. But good work from the Zimbabwean.
Yeah, strong run, and first time he's been able to get forward. Tim, it's just a shame the deflection on the cross, but it is a corner, our first one of the game.
Pereira's come all the way up to the halfway line to talk to Rashisha. Carson will knock the corner, and he's good at these corners. We've seen some good set plays from Matty Carson this season. 25 minutes gone. Here comes the corner in towards the near post. Balloons across the penalty box out as far as Wing, and Wing this time, unlike last week, knocks it out for a throw.
It's gone out to the wing.
Well,
Tim, and for a throw, didn't even hit the corner flag, that one.
Lewis Wing, at a similar stage in the game last week against Portsmouth, scored a terrific goal from the top of the penalty box. That was a couple of yards further out, fell on his right foot, and he had a wild lash at it, and it didn't just sneak out, just glide out for a corner. That was.
I'm not sure whether that goes as an incomplete past him. That one, is that a shot or an incompletion on the pass there?
It was comfortably a throw rather than the goal kick. Here's Lewis Wing challenging. Referee penalises the Reading player, not Lewis Wing, but the player who
doing his boot. Tim, look, he's lace. I think blame the boot.
Yeah. So didn't quite catch that shot as he wanted to. 1-0 to Reading, FA Cup, and going very well so far this afternoon. Next game is more important though. Bristol Rovers at home, Blakey.
At home, big one. Yeah, just sacked the manager Joey Barton, and so like we were saying before, Tim, lots of managers losing their jobs, aren't they? And that's a nasty one.
Elliott sliding in uncontrolled against Harvey, and the Reading youngster's going to get a yellow card here, I think. His first touch was really good, and he nipped it away from the defender, and then he slid in out of control, and I'm pretty sure we'll see a yellow card presented to Ben Elliott. He's going in the book.
Yeah, we hope it's not too silly, don't we? We're just a bit rash and a bit keen and enthusiastic.
Yellow card.
And it is a yellow, yeah. Matches the ref's top, that. Tim, it's very luminous, isn't it?
Luminous yellow for the officials.
These officials.
Dull yellow for the goalkeeper, Michael
Got to be
Kelly.
Careful now.
Yeah, so Elliott's had a difficult 10 minutes here.
Yeah, like you said, Tim, he's just lost it a couple of times, hasn't he? He's trying to make up for that. Put a bit too much in, trying to win the ball back. Just caught was it Harvey there?
What are we guessing the crowd might be at? I'm going 5,000.
Oh, Tim, I think that's. Was there more for our charity game between the two title-winning teams?
That was a slightly happier occasion. To be fair.
I'd be under on the 5, Tim.
Would you?
It does look as though it's filled up a bit, doesn't it, on the far side?
Yes, I'm thinking about 5,000, but we'll get confirmation through in about 2 weeks' time. I remember the days they used to tell us during the game what the attendance was here. Right, into the midfield. MK Dons with Payne. Move the ball up to the halfway line. Left-hand side. Here's Harvey. Harvey back to the on-rushing Jonathan Lecco. Cross comes in. MK Dons now into a central position. Here's a shot from distance, and Pereira catches on the bounce from Gilby, the captain again. 20 yards out, and Pereira had to move a couple of steps to his right hand side. He's rubbing his knee in the top of his shin pad, but I think he's fine, Pereira.
Yeah, that was better from Gilby. There was no side foot in that one, Tim, was there? Better strike on it, but again, comfortable for Pereira there. They're the ones you like coming at you.
4,313
there we go.
That wasn't bad. 5,000 guests.
You had to wait 2 minutes, not 2 weeks.
No, that's the sort of service we get from the staff here. They're right on it. So we know the attendance now for this game. Reading against MK Dons. Reading 1-0 up as well. I reckon a few fans will be at home, perhaps ruining the decision not to come out, because it's been a while.
Decent day as well for it. It had a bit of everything on the way here. So there was the sun, there was the wind, then a real downpour. Now we've got the rainbow.
Here's Lecco chasing on down the left-hand side for MK Dons. Binden's watching really carefully, trying to hold Jonathan Lecco out wide on the left-hand side. MK Dons still in possession now with Harvey. Played through the midfield to Devoy. Out to the right, O'Hara. And now linking up with the captain, Gilby again. He's at the centre of everything, isn't he, Gilby?
Yeah, he's getting forward, he's dropping back. Yeah, like you said, he's all action, Tim. He's been in the game, hasn't he?
Here's Payne another. To Lecco. Oh, Elliott's gone through the back of him again. And Elliott is on a yellow card. And the referee striding across. He needs to be a bit careful there. Because Ben Elliott, after half an hour of the game, he's on a yellow. He's not going to even get spoken to by the referee this time. But Blakey, it shows.
Be careful.
Yeah, it was a bit reckless, that, wasn't it? Free kick to MK Dons, no card for Elliott this time. If he had a card, it would have been a red one. And this is from a long way out, more than 30 yards out, this free kick.
There's
a huddle.
Few round it, yeah. Isa, Lecco there.
Mo Isa seems keen. Jonathan Lecco seems keen.
Take a good one from there, Tim.
I think Payne is the most likely, is he? It's Payne or Isa. No, they switch it out to the left. Here comes the cross into the 6-yard box. Header over the bar from 6 yards out. It was Tommy Smith who was attacking the ball. He got underneath it and it flies into the empty stand behind Pereira's goal. Still 1-0 to Reading. Let's head across to the Abbey Stadium. Here's Rita.
Cambridge United are 1-0 up against Bracknell Town. A nice move, flowing move into the box, and keeper Michael Eacott had absolutely no chance of saving that one. A real shame, actually, because Bracknell Town certainly started brightly, but Cambridge United have just moved up a gear in the last 10 minutes or so, resulting in the goal. So a goal for Cambridge at the moment, but can Bracknell Town react to that? Latest score here, Cambridge United 1, Bracknell Town 0.
Makaru penalised, chased the ball, knocked the defender over. Free kick to MK Dons deep in their own half. So Bracknell 1 down, Maidenhead 1 down, Reading 1 up as MK Dons side foot the ball across their own penalty box a bit precariously, and Rashisha will get some possession, needs to look after the ball down there, and he does that really well into Lewis Wing. Rashisha gets it back, running back towards the halfway line, and in fact he's going to go from inside the penalty box, MK Dons penalty box, all the way to the Reading penalty box, but with Reading in possession throughout.
Yeah,
so
bit of a shame though. Tim won it back well.
Still got possession and at 1-0 up.
And then that's out of play though. That's the problem.
That must have been a marginal call. Rashisha adjudged to have let the ball roll out by maybe 6 inches. And so here comes the throw. That was tight, wasn't it? The assistant referee making that
It's
call.
a long way away. He's down he's down the far end as well.
Lewis Wing trying to win the ball back. Lecco with the crossfield pass. MK Dons 30 yards out in attack. On the right hand side, back it goes to O'Hara. O'Hara sprays it out to the right hand side. Gilby. O'Hara again, middle of the Reading half. Short pass into the feet of Payne, the substitute. He came on for Jack Tucker, who picked up an injury very early in the game, and it's out for an MK Dons throw just inside their half. You're tuned to BBC Radio Berkshire. Tim Deller and Glenn Little watching this one at the SCL. We've got A.D. Williams and Rita Green at other games around the country. All the local sides covered off today. Foul on the halfway line on Matty Carson. Free kick to Reading. Carson clutches the back of his head, but I think he'll be absolutely fine. Quick to get back onto his feet. And having a look, is it Hutchinson who's preparing to take the kick?
Yeah, he's alright, Carson, he's up there.
Yeah.
Gilby just in the back, wasn't he?
Abbey and Hutchinson over the ball. Back it goes to Binden. So Reading 1-0 up, and to be honest, they haven't had too many scares, have they? They've looked the better of the two teams, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, they've had a bit of possession, MK Dons. They haven't been bad, just haven't really created that one chance to get the equaliser. Couple of efforts from Gilby, but comfortable saves.
It's definitely not been a thriller so far. It's been pretty much Reading in control.
Yeah, the way it started with MK Dons, and now early. Oh, here we go. Just off his back, guys. A bit unlucky. But yeah, I did feel it could have been one of them sort of end-to-ends, Tim, but it hasn't really developed, has it?
Reading scrapping it out on the halfway line. The game is getting very scrappy. and then Carson plays it back to Pereira. Yes, that's exactly right. The first couple of minutes before Reading scored, 3 minutes into the game, with this man who's on the ball now, Ehi Batuman, on the halfway line. MK Dons look very comfortable on the ball, but since then we haven't seen Pereira make too many taxing saves. A couple from long range. Reading good for their lead, I'd say. This young team very energetic. There's a dodgy back pass from MK Dons, and Ehi Batuman a yard short of capitalising on that. Here's Rashisha, whose header is spinning off his head at the wrong angle.
Nearly again the heart stopper for Kelly there on the MK Dons, similar to the Ben Elliott pass back, wasn't it? Just for a second you thought we'd left it short.
I think that was even more alarming, wasn't it? Here come Reading just tidying up. Pereira waits and gathers it in. That was again right on the edge of his box, wasn't it? He wouldn't have wanted to pick it up any earlier.
Yeah, just over here. Good turn from Lecco. He's been quite bright. Lecco and Isa, that little combination.
Nice skip away from Makaru. Plays it across to Elliott. Rashisha working hard to try and get the other side of Elliott. Elliott was really pinging that pass in. He chases his own ball and wins it, and down go a couple of Reading players. Lewis Wing this time guilty of a foul on Tommy Smith. No cards this time. I was surprised at Elliott's choice there. He could have just delayed and picked out Rashisha running on an overlap down the right. Instead he tried to fire a pass into Ehi Batuman. Even if it had slid past the defender, I'm not sure how.
Just having a tough time, isn't it, Tim? It's just going against him at the minute. After he lost it a couple of times, it just looks as though he's lost a bit of confidence, and everything seems to. He's now been booked as well. It just needs to keep it simple. 2 or 3 touch, get a feel of it again.
Trying to magic something up, isn't he? Fingers crossed something happens for him in the next couple of minutes to settle him down again. MK Dons in possession in their own half. They've had a back-to-back wins coming into this. The last game they beat Swindon 3-2 last Saturday. They've won just one of their last 7 ties in the FA Cup against teams above them in the league. So Reading obviously above MK Dons in the league at the moment. And according to that stat, Reading should beat them.
Yeah, looking good so far. Tim, it has gone a bit scrappy though, like you said. A few sort of fouls coming in it.
Yeah,
plays
misplaced
getting
passes.
stopped, and misplaced passes. Referee, and there have been fouls. It's not as if the referee's got whistle happy.
We haven't had much in the way of delay to the game compared to recent weeks. Abbey goes back to his goalkeeper Pereira. By this time last Saturday against Portsmouth, we had a couple of very long delays for the tennis ball protests.
I was at Bournemouth and I came in, I saw 45 plus 9 the equaliser, right. Tim. I thought, what's happened there? Yeah, so luckily we've had no stoppages, have we? The tennis balls. Was there anything else? Got some golf balls, Tim?
Yeah, well, I'm glad that that's not happening. As I said pre-match, I think for the club and wanting to avoid fines and the importance of not picking up any more punishments, I think it's quite important that we don't see any more objects thrown onto the pitch during this season.
Yeah,
tennis balls or otherwise. Definitely make a noise, Reading fans, by all means, but just got to be a bit selective about how they do that now. On the halfway line, MK Dons in possession. Into the feet of Payne to the left. Reading 1-0 up, hoping to get themselves into the draw for the second round of the FA Cup. That's a decent pass though, and MK Dons in attack here with space down the right hand side. Good early ball in. Pereira tries to turn it away, but Alex Gilbey, the MK Dons captain's on hand to poke it home. He was just running to the penalty spot. Pereira came out. It was a really good ball in from MK Dons' right hand side, and Gilbey first time levels it up. Reading 1, MK Dons 1, and we've got 7 minutes till half time.
Just out of nowhere that, Tim, wasn't it? But you have to say it was a great ball first onto that right hand side to find Norman, and he's fired it across first time. What a ball that was. And Pereira, he's that full stretch, he dive, couldn't get there. And we did say Gilbey, he's been at the heart of everything, Tim, hasn't he? He's had a couple of efforts, he's been back, he's been forward, he's been on the right, and now he turns up just outside the 6-yard box, slides in and into the empty net. So bit of a shock that.
It was such a good ball in there. Well, initially it was a crossfield pass out to the right, Glenn. The winger did everything correctly, got himself down a few yards, and then slotted a ball and bent it in behind the back four along the ground.
Yeah, great pass, great cross, and the easy finish. So yeah, like I said, it just came out of nowhere really. Nothing's been happening in the game, but all of a sudden, 2 moments of quality and we're 1-1.
Ehi Batuman's header. Elliott will keep the ball in play. Little spin from him, comes in field, is back up on his feet quickly, and then Leko can run away with it for MK Dons. He's looking out to the right hand side as well.
That was a good block.
Important block from Carson, who was up the pitch. Macari didn't look comfortable under that aerial ball, but just about volleys away. And here's Vickers. Vickers wore it in the face. The clearance, he's very unlucky there. Ricocheted up into Vickers' face, and now there'll be a moment whilst the referee checks he's okay. He just toe poked it past the defender. The defender got a little bit of a block on it, and it pinged back up into Vickers' face. It's a shame because he would have been away down the left.
If he's just got enough on it, but he was on the stretch, Tim, wasn't he? And he just got there first, but yeah, ricocheted off the defender's foot. It'll be okay, but yeah, stunned him a bit.
No treatment required. Drop ball. Referee jogs back to give the possession to Kelly, the goalkeeper for MK Dons. 40 minutes gone, 1-1.
Crowd's come to life. Tim, we got a bit of atmosphere in here.
Well, the MK Dons crowd has. The Reading fans slumped back in their seats thinking, oh no, just when we thought it was going to be a positive afternoon.
Yeah, you said as well, the lead, we have had the lead, Tim, haven't we, in games?
Well,
and
last week 2-0 up against Portsmouth.
2-0 up, yeah.
Then seconds before the interval, Portsmouth scoring, and then
you knew, you sort of had that feeling, Tim, didn't you?
Here's Nelson Abbey. Pereira's come miles out of his penalty box. Iffy decision.
Yeah, it's a shank, but I suppose
out of play for a throw to MK Dons, but the ball came through. Abbey was trying to shepherd it back to Pereira. It was 10 yards outside his penalty box. Pereira came racing out and smashed his foot through the ball. It spun out of play for an MK Dons throw, but that was just what Reading didn't need. Another demonstration that
nearly a mix-up, Tim.
Yeah. Suddenly momentum very much at MK Dons. Abbey's touch is bad and it allows MK Dons to win it back. That's a good touch from Macari though, who runs up to the halfway line. Bad touch from him, and MK Dons put it out for a throw. This game's the standards,
come to life
quality.
A bit. Yeah, come to life though, Tim, hasn't it? The levels have gone up. Yeah, that has shocked us, that equaliser. Yeah,
and some of the Reading levels have dropped. Here's a ball out to the left-hand side. Carson wins a free
did well.
kick.
Wasn't the best ball to him, but he's won the free kick, just getting his body in and shielding it and taking the challenge through the back.
Pereira's been at
bit risky.
Pereira's been at 8 different clubs, the goalkeeper for Reading, in the last 8 years, and he's played just 50 games in those 8 years, first team games. And
so you're saying don't buy a house in Reading?
I think Pereira needs to
just rent somewhere.
Presume that he'll be somewhere else this time next year. And based on what we've seen so far, he's not filling us with confidence, is he? With his
just a couple of shaky moments.
Yes. Handling's been all right, but just some of his decision making out the box and kicking. MK Dons win it back on the edge of the centre circle. Here's Elliott, heads it forward, trying to pick out Ehi Batuman, misses him. Reading pressing higher this time. Carson on the halfway line, but he's left a big void behind him. Has to recover as MK Dons pick up possession on the edge of their penalty box. We've got a couple of minutes until half time. Last we heard, Maidenhead and Bracknell both losing 1-0 in their away fixtures. 1-1 here, and there's the pace of Abbey.
Yeah, done
Reading
well. There
trouble.
was 2 there. I don't know who Leko played it to. It was a good turn. Wasn't sure who he was trying to pick out, but Abbey beat both the MK Dons players to it.
Great ball through from Elliott, trying to pick out the Reading striker Makaru, who didn't run very bravely at the ball. I thought the goalkeeper showed a lot more appetite to get to it than Kelly.
I thought he was in.
Makaru, yeah.
I thought he was in. What a chance this is going to be. You're through with the keeper, and in the end, didn't even get anything on it. It was just easy for the goalkeeper. Yeah, not sure. He just had that burst out from the back where he went past someone. Tim maybe he was a bit tired. Still hadn't recovered from that run he had.
Well, he either has a lack of pace or he has a lack of desire and appetite, because he definitely had so long to track the ball, didn't he? And
it was a great ball, and it looked like I said, I thought he's through on goal here. This is going to be a great chance, but maybe just that run before he hadn't fully recovered and he just ran out of steam.
Elliott, though, he's crossfield
look,
pick.
look, he's the hands on the hips.
Yeah.
Tim was like still getting a breather, and Elliott's played a great ball.
Yeah, crossfield. Elliott was 10 yards inside his own half, wide on the right, and he's pinged it on a diagonal towards the opposite corner flag. And it just bounced in the path of Makaru. 50-50 ball with the keeper Kelly. Quickly became a 70-30.
Yeah, it was easy. Yeah, it was easy for the goalkeeper, and it didn't even look like getting there. So yeah, whether benefit of the doubt, maybe the skid on the pitch took it away from him, or like I said, he just had that burst and hadn't fully recovered and couldn't get there. Just blew up.
30 seconds of the first 45 minutes remaining. 1-1 the score. Reading against MK Dons in the first round of the FA Cup. Here's Rashisha with the throw to wing. Gets it back. The Reading right back. Bindon considers going back to his own goalkeeper and then spins away. Rashisha's got some work here to do.
He's going to get the free kick. Yeah, he did well again.
He's got a low centre of gravity, stocky and strong.
Yeah, getting his body in. 5 minutes, Tim.
5 minutes of stoppage time.
Surprised, Tim, are we with that?
I don't remember really where we got 5. But if this referee and fourth official had been here last week, we'd have had about 20 minutes because we only had 9.
Did you notice I've been doing games, Tim, at the start of the season where you're thinking you could play another 5 or 6 games a season, like with all the time added on, but it has settled down, Tim. Have you noticed that or not?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a bit more sensible now, although we've had difficulties of tennis ball protest. Elliott needs to be careful on a yellow card, just tugging back the midfielder Harvey. Across it goes to the right-hand side. On the break come MK Dons with Norman. Crossfield ball into Lecco. Lecco gets the ball under control for MK Dons back into midfield. Here's Devoy into the penalty box. Reading will clear. Ehi Batiaman not picked out by Carson, who sent the clearance from the edge of the penalty box over the halfway line. Having got himself into that position, Carson perhaps should have weighted the ball better.
Yeah, I was just saying there, Tim, that the referee just had a little word. The arm come out and he had a little word with Elliott. I think Elliott just at the right time let the shirt go anymore. You can always wave play on, come back and still book him, but he's got away with it.
Yeah, but really risky. I just wonder
risky.
What Ruben Sellers' approach will be at the break, because Elliott on a yellow card. He's had a couple now where you're looking at him thinking you're going to get sent off.
He's having another word. Look, Tim, the referee. He's just having a look at him.
Elliott's turned his back on the referee.
He's turned his back on the ref, but the arm came out as if to say, look, don't do that again. I'll wave play on. I was a bit worried he could just let it go and then come back and get the yellow card out. But
he's right in front of Ruben Sellers. I hope Ruben Sellers, the Reading manager, will be in his ear saying, look, just get yourself through to half time and then we'll have a look.
But you're right, Tim. Look, he's just saying to him there, isn't he? It could be one of them. Look, can't afford to go down to 10.
No.
You're riding like the fine line there.
Well, as much as anything, it's the energy required by the rest of the team to get them over the finish line if they go down to 10. Here's Rashisha, ball in from the right hand side, chested down inside the box. Elliott to Rashisha again, right hand side, 10 yards from the goal line. Lewis Wing turns it in, and where it comes from MK Dons' defence to Lecco, and then they just stroll away from Sam Hutchinson in midfield, go flying past Carson. Awful defending from Reading on the halfway line, just been cut open way too easily. Lecco rolls it out to the right. Here comes an early cross for MK Dons in towards the far post, and Rashisha's got time to get it under control and then deliver. He wants to find Ehi Batiaman, and Ehi Batiaman kills it dead. Doesn't get a free kick this time. There's a good touch, but
it did. Brought it down well. I would have maybe given it to him, Tim. I don't know about you. I'd have maybe just the defender just doing enough, but he's gone the way of the defender.
Well, there were two defenders there, and Ehi Batiaman, his touch was brilliant, but he wasn't ever going to get anything else, was he, from that situation?
No, looking at him, he's got a touch of the Baz Savage, you know, for me.
Yeah.
Isn't he? All arms and legs, but got a good touch.
And he's quick enough.
Tim, and when he gets going, opens those legs, he's a handful.
Yep, he's definitely had a good impact on this game. Importantly, scoring for Reading after 3 minutes. But here come MK Dons trying to get a leader. And so the penalty box they go. MK Dons trying to get it back to the top of the box. Reading lucky. Abbey with the spin can clear it. but Reading just wobbling a bit here.
Cut it out well, read the situation, because that was a good move. He did well there, Norman.
Suddenly very open and very end-to-end. Here's Vickers to Ehi Batiaman. Ehi Batiaman plays it forward, it's onside. Makaru, he's got Elliott waiting in the middle. He can get into the top of the penalty box, just rolls it back behind the striker. Ehi Batiaman does get the shot off. Good shot as well. Rasper, right-footed, on target, but blocked by the defender.
I think we've seen MK Don's best break a minute ago, and then our best break there, and yeah, he called it well, didn't he, Batiaman, and it's just good block by the defender. It was definitely on target. The goalkeeper dived for it, probably would have had it covered.
Makaru's final pass was a bit disappointing, wasn't it? I mean, got himself into the box.
I think he was trying to pick out Vickers, wasn't it? Yeah. Went behind Vickers. But yeah, Leku there on the break for MK Dons. He did really well out to Norman. We've already seen what he can do out wide with the ball in for the goal. But
last few seconds of the first half, which has ebbed and flowed. It's not been a pulsating first half, but we've had 5 or 10 minute spells where it's been decent entertainment.
Yeah, I'd say all in all, Tim, a draw, 1-1 is probably about right, isn't it, at the end of it all?
Well, at half time.
Yeah, at the end of the half, it's always disappointing when you got the lead with the early goal. Unfortunately, we didn't really kick on and do enough, and there's the half-time whistle.
At the break, AD, here at the SCL Stadium, it's Reading 1, MK Dons 1.
Tim Della and Glenn Little in the commentary box at the SCL Stadium. As you heard there, 1-1, work to be done in the second half for Ruben Seller's squad. I'm at the Kassam Stadium, half-time here, Oxford 1, Maidenhead 0. No real surprise, obviously, Oxford flying high in League One, second in League One table. They've won 10 of their 15 league fixtures. Mind you, they have made 6 changes to the starting lineup that beat Lincoln midweek. Was it 2-0 result for Oxford? So no real surprise. There could be more goals, in fairness. I think Oxford could be leading this first half by 3-2. Maidenhead did start the game very well. Then Oxford, as you'd expect, got on top. Billy Bodin on the score sheet, of course, the son of the former Royal, Paul Bodin, former Wales international. Billy Bodin after 15 minutes. Then Maidenhead did slowly but surely get 1 or 2 half chances, and they could have been on the score sheet themselves. Jaden Mitchell-Lawson had the best chance. He was only about 9 yards out, but he skied his effort. And also Reece Smith, a minute before that, he did really well. He beat 2 Oxford defenders, not quite the final ball. Eventually the League One outfit cleared, but it's a decent game here. Oxford lead by 1-0. Shall we go to the Abbey Stadium and catch up with Rita? Last we heard, Cambridge were leading Bracknell by 1-0. Half time there, Rita?
Your timing is absolutely extraordinary, brilliant as always, AD Williams. 1-0 at the break, literally just now. The ref blew up for half time. Cambridge 1, Bracknell Town 0. It could have quite easily have been, it sounds like a similar game to what you're watching actually, Eddie. Could have been about 3-0 up actually to Cambridge if it wasn't for 2 fantastic, wonderful, brilliant saves from Michael Eckert, including a shot from Kekai from the Cambridge point of view. I mean, it was an extraordinary save, honestly. It should have been in the top corner, and everyone in the stadium was in awe of that save. But it's kept Bracknell in it. Bracknell have been very energetic, driven, and in fact, the pace that they've been putting up front with Joseph Grant and also forward Jordan Esprit has really caused problems for Cambridge United at the back. They look nervous, it's fair to say, but in terms of shots on target, not many of them. In fact, none, I don't think, in the first half. But lots to talk about at half-time for the Bracknell Town team. I think they're not out of this at all. They'll just have to be a lot more clinical in the final third if they're going to get anything out of this game. But 1-0 at the break, AD, and Cambridge United, they are 1-0 up against Bracknell Town.
Back to the SCL Stadium very shortly. Second half commentary as it stands. Reading 1, MK Dons 1, 1-1 at the interval. Oxford lead Maidenhead. Also half-time here at the Kassam Stadium, 1-0. Let me tell you, in the Premier League, we do have Premier League and Championship fixtures as well as FA Cup fixtures this afternoon. Fulham 0, Manchester United 1. That is the early kickoff. That is now full-time at Craven Cottage. Manchester United getting their winner, the only goal of the game in the dying seconds. Brentford 1, West Ham 2. Still playing at Brentford. Burnley 0, Crystal Palace 1. That is half-time. Also half-time at Goodison. Everton lead Brighton by a goal to 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium. Manchester City 3 up against Bournemouth. Goalless at Bramall Lane. Half-time there. Sheffield United 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. And of course the big game at St James's, 5:30 kick-off, Newcastle against Arsenal. Let me tell you, in the Championship, we've got to keep calling it this. Wayne Rooney's Birmingham lead Ipswich a goal to 0. What a start to the season. Ipswich have had promoted, of course, from League One last season, as were, well, Sheffield Wednesday. I don't really know what to say about Sheffield Wednesday. They are struggling at this moment in time. Goalless half-time. I think they would take a point away to Bristol City. Also goalless between Huddersfield and Watford. Millwall Southampton 0-0. Plymouth lead Middlesbrough by 2 goals to 1, half-time at Home Park. What a journey that is for the Middlesbrough fans away at Plymouth. Preston 2, Coventry 1. Rotherham against Queen's Park Rangers is goalless. Of course, Gareth Ainsworth sacked as the QPR manager in the week. Stoke 0, Cardiff 0. Swansea against Sunderland also 0-0. And 1-1 at the Hawthorns between West Brom and Hull City. Let me just run through a few relevant scores in the FA Cup. The early kick-off, Northampton against Barrow. Northampton been beaten by Barrow by 3 goals to 1. Wimbledon lead Cheltenham by 2 goals to 0. Bolton 1, Solihull Moors 0, Bradford 0, Wickham 2. Bristol Rovers, of course, Reading's next opponents, half-time lead Whitby Town by 4 goals to 1. As we know, Cambridge lead Bracknell by a goal to 0. Elsewhere, Chester York is goalless. Curzon Ashton 0, Barnet 1. Doncaster lead Accrington by a goal to 0. Eastleigh 3-1 up against Boreham Wood. Hereford 0, Gillingham 1. FA Cup, you can't help but mention Hereford in the FA Cup. The good old days. Who remembers that game against Newcastle? Let me tell you, Leyton Orient lead Carlisle by a goal to 0. And the last one, just for now, Notts County against Crawley is 1-1 here at the Cassam Stadium. Oxford 1, Maidenhead 0. Don't forget, Slough Town are in action tomorrow afternoon. Their FA Cup first round tie against Grimsby. It's a 2 o'clock kickoff at Arbour Park. I went over in the week, spoke to the former Reading player. Now Scully Davies, of course, is the manager at Slough Town. Tough season in the league so far for Slough, but a big game tomorrow afternoon, 2 o'clock kickoff. Well, Scotty, we were talking a few weeks ago about the possibility of the FA Cup first round proper, and bang, here it is.
Yeah, no, it's great to get their aid. I think for us, we did speak about it a few weeks ago. We had a mammoth task in front of us, which was Ebbsfleet. Managed to get a replay, bring them back to our place, and we've done a really good job on them that night. Very front-footed, aggressive, and just played with confidence and belief. And we managed to get a really good result and fully deserved it. So to play Grimsby this weekend was something that we probably didn't foresee, but we've managed to get there and we're looking forward to it.
Not a bad time to play Grimsby. I mean, some people may differ, but, you know, they're struggling along, starting along in League 2, albeit League 2. They've lost the last 4. They've just lost the manager, sacked the manager. I would sooner play a side that's lost their last 4 than won their last 4.
Yeah, I know. Everyone keeps telling me the stats. They've not kept a clean sheet in 12. They've obviously just sacked their manager as well last weekend. So you never know what kind of reaction you'll get. People keep saying to me, it's a bad thing that they've sacked the manager. But listen, we've still got to face the players that are put in front of us. And I fully believe in our group that we can cause an upset. Whether we're able to play to the levels that we can and do that, that's another thing. So if we turn up, we'll give them a good game. If we don't turn up, then I'm sure we'll get turned over. So it's football.
This club have got to, you know, FA Cup first round before many times. I remember playing for Reading against Slough. They took us to a replay back at Elm Park back in those days. But Grimsby, they actually made the quarterfinals last year. Yeah,
it's crazy when you see, obviously, a lower league club get to the quarterfinals. It's massive. So we thought there might have been a chance for the TV with them being in the quarterfinals last season and us being a non-league club on a plastic pitch. So to bring them down, I think they're bringing 650 supporters, which they've sold out. It's going to be a hell of a racket. I know you can play in front of 30, 40,000 people, but sometimes when you play in those small, sort of tight stadiums where it's packed out, it's so much better. So I'm looking forward to it. It's not going to be an empty space in the whole stadium. Lots of families and friends coming to watch, especially for the young lads. I'm delighted for them to play in such a good game at the beginning of their careers and just show what they're about, and hopefully they can show that they're good players and can play higher.
You've played in big games. What will your team talk be? Will it be just another game, or hang on a minute, this isn't just another game, it's FA Cup first round proper?
The craziest thing for me is that When I was played over 100 games in League Two, for example, that's one of the leagues I played most of my football in. I don't believe that I was much better back then than I am now. So I'll be telling the lads that I don't think the gap is that big. It'll be about the team who makes the least mistakes. They'll be probably a little bit fitter than us, had a little bit more time to work on things. But I don't think the gulf is huge. I honestly think it's getting smaller and smaller by the year throughout the leagues. I think there's an exception from probably the Premiership down to the Championship. But apart from that, I do think there's a lot of players with a lot of ability. We've certainly got a few, and I hope that on Sunday they can show what they're all about.
In terms of form, the league table doesn't look great, but like you said to me a couple of weeks or so ago, clean sheets are coming now. You come back from 3-1 to nick a point at the weekend as well. So are you relatively pleased with the form going into the game?
Yeah, we've had a lot of inconsistencies in the last few weeks with injuries, suspensions, lack of availability because some players have been cup tied. So we've had to spin the team around a lot. I think come Sunday we'll have a full squad to choose from. I think everyone's going to be fit. You've been around football long enough to know that you might be injured one week, but as soon as the FA Cup comes around or a big game, everyone all of a sudden is perfect and raring to go. But that's not a bad thing. For us, it's just a feeling of excitement. I know that we can't lose on the day because we've got nothing to lose. It's all the pressure's on them. But don't get me wrong, if we lost on Sunday, I'd still be absolutely devastated because I think we've still got a good chance. The plastic pitch, I think, is a leveller. Their players may never have played a competitive match on it before, which sounds crazy. The run of the ball, the bounce of the ball is definitely different, something that we're used to. So we need to take every small advantage that we can and hopefully add them together and make that one big advantage.
We're sat at Arbour Park now in the physio's room, a room that I spent far too long during my career, and I'm just looking around and it's got teamwork and picture of the boys celebrating. It's got hard work, again celebrations. I mean, that is pretty much is it at the end of the day. A great set of lads, and you've got a graft.
Yeah, we know we're not superstars. We're very humble, honest, and we go to work Monday to Friday, and this is an added bonus for us that we train Tuesday, Thursdays and play at a weekend. And for us to play in a game that's going to be sort of extended highlights on BBC, it's a special feeling for us. And we know with, like you say, with the teamwork and the hard work, the togetherness, all of those cliches, we'll need every ounce of that on Sunday to be able to pull off the upset.
Good luck to Slough Town, Grimsby tomorrow afternoon, 2 o'clock kick-off at Arbour Park. Let me tell you, Oxford lead Maidenhead by 1-0. Reading 1, MK Dons 1, and Cambridge are 1-up against Bracknell Town. BBC Radio Berkshire, let's talk ice hockey, talk to the player coach at the Bees, Dom Gabay. Dom, let's start with last weekend because unfortunately you picked up a defeat, and prior to that obviously things have been looking pretty good.
Yeah, all the weekends this year we picked up points, and it was one game weekend and we didn't pick up any points, so it's a bit frustrating. Also, the way we played, it wasn't the way we usually play, and that's just more frustrating that we just go down and then we try to catch up during the game rather than just play with the lead.
I've got to ask you, because I've never asked anybody in ice hockey this, do you have different formations, different styles? In football, we all know a 4-4-2 or 4-3-3. What's the style system in ice hockey?
In hockey, you can play different styles. So we obviously have 5 players on the ice plus a goalie. So you can play 2-1-2, you can play 1-4, you can play 1-2-2. You can play different styles of forecheck. You can play different style of neutral zone, trap, and stuff like that. So it's similar to football. It's just less numbers.
And would you change it up because of the personnel that you've got, Dom, or would you change it up because of the opposition?
I'd say because of opposition, but usually we just play the one system all year, basically, and then we would just change it depending on the result of the game. Sure. Or like how the game is going. So maybe we would change if we're losing by a goal or 2, we need to be more aggressive. So I would change it to be more offensive rather than defensive.
I see. And this weekend, you got a big weekend. You got a double weekend, if you like. On the Saturday, MK Lightning. That's away to MK Lightning. I think they're going well. You're third in the table, they're second. And then on the Sunday, you've got the Phantoms in Slough.
Yeah, so we haven't seen MK this year, but from seeing the results, seeing their video footage, they're one of the top teams in the league. It's going to be a tough game for us to play at their rate. So we just need to be mentally ready for the start of the game. And we've got some guys that were injured that are coming back for this weekend. So we'll have a little bit more of firepower for this weekend. So if we're going to be ready, we can beat anyone in this league.
I've got to mention the tragic news. Obviously,
Yes.
you know, the world of ice hockey, we're all saddened and, you know, sending our thoughts and prayers to Adam Johnson's family and friends, Nottingham Panthers ice hockey player. You know, it's well documented what happened, but, you know, I guess just talk us through this neck guard situation now, because I think it's mandatory from now on. Is that correct?
If for now, until the end of the year, it's recommended to use it, and from the 1st of January, it will be mandatory for everybody to wear a neck guard. And I think it's a smart thing to do, because basically necks of players are the only thing that is not protected in ice hockey. Everything else you've got protection for. It's just the necks. So I think after this tragic, it's gonna happen everywhere in the world where everybody will need to wear some kind of neck protection, because it's just so unfortunate.
Horrendous.
What happened.
Yeah, horrendous.
Yeah.
And did you wear one? Do you wear one? Will you wear one until the end? You don't wear one?
No, I didn't wear one, and I don't think they're because the way it was, you have to wear a neck guard up until you're 18, and I think now there's a rule, if you're under 21 in England, you have to wear one, and then it was just your choice if you wanted to wear one, and there's no guys that would wear one. But now, after this, I believe that this weekend we're going to see a whole lot of players wearing a neck guard.
Good luck to the Bees this weekend. Let's go back to the SCL Stadium. 1-1 at half-time. Tim Diller and Glenn Little in players. Players just arriving out on the pitch. As I say, 1-1 as it stands.
Yeah, and a couple of substitutions at half-time, AD. Harvey Nibbs is coming on for Ben Elliott, and we've got Paul Makaru hooked off at the break as well, and Femi Aziz replacing him. So attacking changes, and hardly surprising based on the fact that Ben Elliott was on a yellow card and dipping in and out, finding it difficult to find his feet in the game. So perhaps no real surprise that Ruben Sellers has made those changes. It's going to be the all-red of MK Dons to get things underway. 1-1 as we start the second half here at the SCL Stadium. And Glenn Little, you're not surprised by those substitutions either.
I think, Ben, we said it.
Good start for Reading. Here's Wing to Aziz. Aziz on the edge of the box, running right to left to Nibbs. Nibbs' first touch, goes square. Aziz hacks it over the top of the crossbar. What a wasteful finish. 16 yards out. You've got to get closer to hitting the back of the net than that. It was Nibbs, the two substitutes combining, and rolling it into Aziz. And first time, Aziz's finish was so wayward. It was so far over the crossbar. Incredible miss, really.
Yeah, it wasn't easy, Tim. It came back to him his first time, wasn't it? But it's just what you want. You make a sub, and straight away, within the first 30 seconds, Nibbs did well. I thought he was going to go. I thought he was going to go across goal. He's pulled it back. He's put it on a plate for him. But yeah, maybe later on in the game, it's just because it's so early, he's hardly had a touch, and maybe that didn't help.
Well, it wasn't easy, definitely, but you'd hope to get it a bit closer to the goal than that, wouldn't you?
It's not as if he's missed a sitter or anything, but it was just a decent opportunity, but it's happened so early for him.
Ehi Batuman hangs on to it, and here's a chance. Vickers knocks it across to Aziz, and it's into the goal. Offside flag goes up, though. Aziz may have been offside. Ehi Batuman turned it over the line from close range, but the flag was up and it remains 1-1.
It's a shame, Tim, we haven't got the replays in front of us, and at this level of football, no VAR. Tim, but that would have been close. It was a lovely ball, wasn't it, by Vickers, curling in swinger, and Aziz, he did well already.
Yeah,
first
so
minute, he's already in the game.
Hooked it back from beyond the back post towards the goal, and whether it was going to roll in anyway, or whether Ehi Batuman's touch made absolutely sure it ended up in the back of the MK Dons net, I'm not sure. But what we do know is that the offside flag went up, and Aziz might count himself a bit unlucky, because Vickers hit it from a long way out, and you'd have thought he would have tracked it all the way and perhaps sprung the offside trap there. But anyway, here's Nibbs. Nibbs tried to play it through to Aziz, who's going to be onside this time, just on the corner of the MK Dons penalty box. This has been a bright start from Reading to the second half at 1-1. Here's Bindon back to Abbey, and Abbey can go back to his goalkeeper Pereira on debut today. Pereira rolls it out to Carson on the left-hand side. Carson, in the end, finds it back to Pereira, but not by design.
Friendly ricochet.
Yes.
But it's one you'd love to see that again. At first, I thought Vickers, was he going for the far post, trying to hit that curler goal?
Well, possibly.
Yeah, but then you see Aziz on the back post.
Lecco with a lovely touch, glides away from. Oh, that's a bad challenge from Hutchinson. He flew in there and he's taken Lecco out.
It's going to be a yellow.
Oh, well, yeah, that'll be the best outcome here for Hutchinson. I'm pretty sure you're right, Glenn, but he slid in 2 feet up.
That was like his one early on in the game on that far side, Tim, wasn't it? But he didn't make any contact on that occasion. But there, he's done well, Lecco, hasn't he? He's looked a good player for him. He can dribble the ball. He's got a bit of skill, bit of pace.
He can't have many complaints about that, Sam Hutchinson.
No, now he's got to be careful.
In central midfield. Out to the right-hand side the ball goes. Here's Nibbs closing it down quickly. He's done well there. And Reading do look a bit energised, don't they, in the second half compared to the first half. Here's Vickers down the right-hand side. It's worth chasing, isn't it? It looked like a really careless ball, but he bat him and can give chase and win a throw next to the corner flag. 4 minutes gone in this second half, and Reading have got a bit more life about them.
Yeah, already had a bit of action, and Aziz, what an impact he's nearly made.
Nearly. Here's the ball played in. There's an opportunity for Reading to win it on the edge of the box. Rashisha is beaten to it and striding forward. MK Dons have got numbers forward here on the rampage down the left-hand side. Good tackle comes in from Bindon, who wins it back. We'll be off to the Abbey Stadium in a moment, but at 1-1, Reading looking pretty handy. Oh no, it's been given away by Nibbs on the halfway line. This is just madly open, and down the right-hand side come MK Dons into the box. The block comes in from Nelson Abbey, and as soon as the ball goes out of play, we'll be back to the Abbey Stadium. Not to be confused with the Reading central defender Nelson Abbey. Here's Rashisha to Aziz. Aziz just inside the MK Dons half, runs in off the touchline, running in towards the corner of the penalty box, gets his head up. Has he got any options behind him? Yes, he has. Rashisha in support, plays it infield to Wing, back to Rashisha. 5 minutes gone in the second half. 1-1. Rashisha drives through a couple. Now Wing in possession. Picks out Aziz, really clever pass from Wing. Aziz now running into the penalty box on the right hand side, drags it to the back of the box. Here's a great chance for Carson, and it hits the feet and bounces out. First time rasper of a shot from Matty Carson, and the defender blocked it well. It's just crazy, this game.
Crazy start, yeah. It is end to end now. We said it in the first half, Tim, didn't we? We thought it could be end to end.
Here's Wing out to Rashisha. Rashisha will deliver the cross in, presumably. No, he goes short to Wing. Wing across field to Carson. As Carson saw that one rolling back, he must have thought, here we go.
That is, saw the headlines.
Yeah, and he hit it well.
Yeah, hit it well, but it was a good block. I don't know whether it would have gone in. Aziz with the skill, though, on the far side, wasn't it? And the little step over in the cutback already could have had a goal, a couple of assists. Him.
Here's Lewis Wing delivering in again. Too deep, out of play, and off for a goal kick to MK Dons. 1-1. Let's go to the Abbey Stadium and Rita Green.
Cambridge United are now 2-0 up against Bracknell Town. An absolute mess up in the back between the keeper and defenders ended up in an own goal. Meaning that the U's are 2-0 up against Bracknell Town. It was a real shame, Tim, actually, because Bracknell Town made a very, very bright start in the second half. In fact, first shot on target of the game for them in the very first minute. Here comes a shot again, and it's just off target. But it's a real sad start to the second half for the Robins. 2-0 down against Cambridge United.
So only Reading at 1-1, flying the flag for Berkshire teams in the first round of the FA Cup at the moment. And they've just passed the ball out of play, Reading, for a throw to MK Dons. So 1-1 here. Bracknell losing 2-0 against Cambridge, as we just heard from Rita, and we heard from AD at half-time. Maidenhead trailing at Oxford. So it's tomorrow Slough against Grimsby. Got the draw tomorrow. We're hoping that Reading will be in it. They've never beaten MK Dons before in normal time. We don't really want a replay. I don't much like MK Dons as a venue to get to.
No one wants a replay.
No one wants to go to Milton Keynes.
I thought they were hoping that they have scrapped it in the FA Cup from, is it the 4th round onwards? But
yeah, not yet though. Here comes the run from MK Dons. Carson with the block, and Vickers can clear. Took his time, and the game has got very scrappy in the Reading left back spot, but Reading have got a throw out of it. I still think Reading have looked like they've had a...
probably the best spell we've had in the game, because after the first goal we didn't really put MK Dons under any pressure, Tim, did we? We sort of let them off the hook with the early goal, but we've definitely had them under pressure at the start of this second half.
Carson with a good ball downfield. Ehi Batuman might be able to, I thought he could nip it away on the halfway line there. Didn't quite get enough on it to do that, and here come Lecco and MK Dons from 35 yards over the bar. Extremely optimistic.
Yeah, opened up well for him though, Tim. I suppose it was worth a go. He has been their best player though, hasn't he, Lecco? He's looked a real threat, cutting in from that left-hand side onto the right foot, and yeah, long way out, but worth a go.
Yeah, had a shot, sailed over the bar. Back off to the Kassam Stadium shortly. 8 minutes gone in the second half here. 1-1. Ehi Batuman chasing, and it'll be interesting as this game goes on what Ruben Sellers will do, because he's going to have, and he said as much to me on Thursday, he'll have Bristol Rovers on Tuesday in mind, and he's not going to want to run Ehi Batuman into the ground, or I'd suggest.
And you've already made 2 subs. You do expect.
You'd look after Lewis Wing and Sam Hutchinson.
Yeah,
here.
Charlie Savage, Ballard. You expect to come on, wouldn't you?
You got Nelson Abbey. You'd have presumed would be a obvious selection, although always difficult to read. And I'm just looking at the bench, and it looks as if you might be right sooner than you expect. Glenn, I think there's a bit of activity on that bench. Back pass, MK Dons do very well. Out to that left-hand side, and Kelly, the goalkeeper. One back by Aziz. He's been busy, hasn't he, since he's come on? I wonder if today will be the day. I just keep thinking Aziz's career is about to take off any moment.
Yeah, he's a player that he can do good things. He's got talent, Tim. It's putting it all together. It's the consistency in it, the end product at the end of it all.
Yeah. And here he is on the ball again. Nice pass from Bindon to Aziz, out to Rashisha. Rashisha's first time cross on the right hand side, dug out by the defenders only as far as Hutchinson. Here's Wing now. Wing goes cross field to Carson. Carson gets his head up, delivers in, and it's to the keeper. Easy for the keeper to catch on his 6-yard box line. So 1-1, 10 minutes gone.
Definitely in the balance now.
Half.
Tim,
it is, isn't it?
Like we said, you don't want to replay here, so you might as well go for it. You got 9 subs.
There's nothing to be gained from a replay, I don't think, for either team really.
No, because they're mid-table, MK, aren't they? And
yeah, they're at 12th on 22 points. They had a dreadful start to the season. No wins in 4 away games for MK Dons. Only 4? You should try 20.
I know, yeah. 20 and counting. Who's the next one?
Where are we next? I think we are up at Shrewsbury next, aren't we? Is that our next away game?
Right.
Or have we got another away game next Saturday, perhaps? Just trying to think through the fixture list, but yes, it's been a while since Reading recorded an away win in the league. But they've had a slow start to the season, recovering it now.
And here we go, Tim. The 2 subs again, another double.
So Craig and Ballard are coming on for Reading. We'll wait and see who for. Maybe for Lewis Wing, maybe for Sam Hutchinson. I would imagine Craig would be for Hutchinson, who's on a yellow card. And
yellow card, older member of the team, isn't he?
But
by about 8 years, Tim, isn't he?
And hasn't played very much recently either, so you'd look after him. What a pass that was.
Yeah, nearly. Nearly.
From left back, drilling it forward 40 yards. But Reading have lost it on the halfway line now. And here's Gilby, the captain, to the right hand side. The overlapping run provided by Cameron Norman. Takes a quick throw. Back he goes, Norman into defence, and O'Hara. And MK Dons, they've had spells in this game where they've knocked some decent possession together, haven't they? They look quite comfortable on the ball.
They're not a bad team, are they?
Not at all,
Tim,
no.
You're not watching them thinking like we should be rolling these 4 or 5.
No, definitely not.
Dare I say it, we could be sat here next year, Tim, and this isn't an FA Cup game.
No, that's very true. This could easily be a League 2 game, couldn't it? Here's Nibs, he's got a thigh on it, and that means
that's great pace, that.
Abbey again, yeah. And here come MK Dons through the middle. Challenges are coming in but being missed by Reading. Lewis Wing keeps on chasing. He's done well. Lewis Wing gets on the ball now. Rolls it out to the left-hand side to Nibs. Nibs goes backwards to Carson, but Reading have still got possession. And it was a frantic
couple of times today, Abbey, as I'm thinking they're in here. It was a lucky ricochet, and yet you saw Isa go to get it. And
lucky for
Abbey,
MK Dons.
yeah, Abbey's just opens up and he's got there comfortably.
Well, you've got to play Abbey every week, haven't you? If he's got that much pace, he looks good on the ball, isn't he? Very calm.
Right,
organises it well. I'd have thought you just settle him in to play 35 games in central defence.
That's what you need to get a run of games, get the consistency in team selection. It is just difficult though, Tim, when you keep losing, isn't it? You're chopping and changing, you're trying to find something.
Yeah, here's Carson with a nice crisp pass to Hutchinson in the middle of the Reading half. Hutchinson rolls it out to the right and Rashisha carries it over the halfway line. Still those two wait, by the way, Ballard.
It's just settled down, Tim, as it after that fast and furious 5 minutes.
That's a good header forward by Carson, trying to pick up Ehi Batium. Carson now on the next ball. Harvey Nibbs is in a scrap to win it back, and a little bit of a big challenge comes in. Nice there was a nibble from Nibbs, and there was a nibble from Vickers, and then Carson decided to sort it all out. Hutchinson is indeed coming off for Craig, so that's the first change.
Then Vickers,
will it be?
Yeah, Vickers
has come off, and on comes Ballard. So how Reading fans would like to see a similar impact, because definitely Aziz and Nibbs have brought something extra since they've come on. I wonder if these two can have the same effect. Here are Reading with Lewis Wing on the ball. He's asked a lot of Ballard there.
You could see what he was trying, Tim, just that in between the centre back and the right back. But Ballard, he was never getting it, Tim.
Goal kick to MK Dons. So let's nip across to Oxford, shall we, and find out what's going on with the Maidenhead game. Aidy Williams.
Yeah, Oxford still lead Maidenhead 1-0 here at the Kassam Stadium. Oxford on top in the second half, although Maidenhead did have a more than a half chance in the opening seconds of the second period. But our colleagues to the right of us for BBC Oxford, they're quite pleased that Reading are only managing a draw against MK Dons. And by the way, they smiled even more when I told them this one, the very latest from the county ground: Swindon 0, Aldershot 6.
Here come Alex Gilby and MK Dons out to the left-hand side, played into the penalty box that Reading defend, and David Craig has got back there and he's tidied up very well.
Nice start for
Michael Craig
and Ballard. Oh, here we go, Tim. Unlucky that was, wasn't it? The little reverse backhill.
So yeah, Michael Craig has done extremely well with his start there. Into the midfield the ball goes. MK Dons in possession. It's who scores first, isn't it, really?
Yeah, definitely.
It's got
now,
a very open field.
It could go either way, this, Tim.
Yeah, it's right on a knife edge. Somebody needs to produce something special to seal the contest. Reading certainly don't want to be dropping out the FA Cup at this early stage. It's looking like a distinct possibility at the moment. 1-1. It's a 50-50 game right now. Nothing in it.
Yeah, I think it probably has been about fair, their little trip there. It's probably 1-0 is about right, Tim, but it's definitely, after that frantic start, it's just settled down again, and could go either way.
Here come MK Dons out to the right hand side. They pass it to Cameron Norman. Over the top it goes. One to chase for Asa, and Bindon gets across this time. The pace of Nelson Abbey definitely gets Reading out of holes.
Yeah.
You'd be playing him week in, week out, would you?
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
You've got to try and get a team selection where people just get used to playing with each other. Like I said, though, Tim, it is difficult, but when you're losing this, it's very hard, isn't it, to find the right team, the right formation to settle on.
Well, it's a bit chicken and egg, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you go with the results first or the team selection first?
If you keep trying to stick with the same team to give them consistency, but then you're losing, then people who aren't playing are going to be saying, hang on a minute, like, you're losing, why aren't you giving me a go? But then you chop and change, and it's like the vicious circle.
Here's a throw for Reading. Carson will take it deep in his own half on the left hand side. So 62 minutes gone on the clock. Reading 1, MK Dons 1. Delivered downfield to Ehi Batiaman, whose touch is just a little bit heavy this time, but Nibs is on his shoulder to help out.
That might be a yellow, Tim. Little
Could
cynical
be.
trick.
Yeah, I thought so.
Referee's not interested.
O'Hara was the one who dangled his leg out, and Nibs took a tumble. And the referee not interested in giving MK Dons a card on this occasion. So free kick, 15 yards inside their own half for Reading. And Carson goes back to the edge of his own penalty box where Abbey awaits. Abbey out to Carson again. Carson drills it downfield. That is a fantastic ball. And Harvey Nibs has read it, and he's got on the shoulder of that defender, and he was banged over by the defender. It's a free kick. It's effectively a corner where Nibs will win this free kick.
I was thinking, has he got the yellow out there? No, he's got his spray. Look, he's got the spray.
It was O'Hara, the player who you were questioning a few moments ago whether he should get a card.
Yeah, definite foul though in the back, wasn't he? Did well there. Good ball down the line. And Nibs, he read the situation, got in behind, won the free kick.
Tim Deller and Glenn Little with you. BBC Radio Berkshire FA Cup football this afternoon at the SCL Stadium, where it's Reading 1, MK Dons 1. Lewis Wing with pretty much a corner from the left-hand side. Wing delivers in towards the 6-yard box. Header, goal! Glancing header from Harvey Nibs, who won the free kick. And Harvey Nibs puts Reading 2-1 up against MK Dons with 64 minutes gone on the clock.
Lovely ball in, Tim. That makes it, doesn't it? Done everything you want. Lovely in-swinger, 6 yards out. And we've said the subs have had an impact. Aziz as well, isn't it? On the right-hand side. And their lovely header by Harvey Nibs when it just glanced it into the far corner.
So 2-1 up Reading, and further good news, I think I saw Lecco's number just being flashed up as the man, oh no, they've changed the number now. Yeah. That makes far more sense. He put up a number 7, the fourth official, to say that Lecco is going to come off. But
well, Lecco is coming across, so they are making 2 changes, and Lecco's coming across with them.
Well, we'll wait and see.
18 and 16 coming on, yeah. Connor Grant and Max Dean, and yeah, it is Lecco as well. So for me, he was their best player.
Exactly, so. And that's why I was getting quite excited. So Grant and Dean are on, and Lecco is off there. So that's a bit of a surprise, because we did feel that Jonathan Lecco was the main man, although they obviously, MK Dons and their manager Mike Williamson will have their next league game in mind, as have Reading with the Bristol Rovers game coming up. But Reading now 2-1 up, so that was a big moment. Can Reading push on? They need to score another one and put this tie to bed. At the moment it's still going to be in the air, but Harvey Nibs, good moment for him.
Yeah, won the free kick like you said, Tim, and then headed it in. Lovely ball in by Wing, and you wouldn't necessarily say set plays would be a real strength for this young team, and
you've got to mention the ball downfield to Harvey Nibs
pass,
as well.
Lovely, raking pass. And Nicky Shorey's special, that was.
I know we're going back a lot of plays there, aren't we? But Carson, he pinged that ball down the left-hand touchline with such good weighting, and Nibs raced onto it. I feel Carson deserves an assist for that.
Yeah. Secondary assist, that would have been nice for me, Tim. Yeah, I'd have had about 400 in my
career. Got a few quid on that. Maybe you should go back.
No, so what you want is it? We said they had an impact right from within 30 seconds of them coming on, and Nibs on the left, Aziz on the right, and they've finally made it count, haven't they?
Pereira's sliced kick. It's a foot Reading under a bit of pressure. MK Dons in the midfield with possession. Norman goes back to his full-back, and Nibs in very sprightly fashion chases. I don't want to be selective about who scores important goals here, but I'd love to see Aziz score and get that monkey off his back, free the shackles and see the best.
Even an assist, Tim, that's what you want. You don't always have to score goals, but if you're that forward sort of attacking type of player, it's all about the goals, assists, how many chances you can create.
Michael Craig busily covering the ground.
Be interesting now. Look, this is what we've done. We scored in the first half and then sat in. I'd say just keep going, Tim, but again, you sort of when you're not used to winning, this is what happens, Tim. Then it's easier to just take your foot off the gas and sit in instead of just keep going and keep going.
So your instruction, if you're Ruben Selles, is just carry on doing what you're doing.
Carry on, get another.
It's difficult because it is quite open, the game, isn't it? And they could do.
Yeah, it's your mindset as well, Tim. Like I said, when you're just not used to winning, you don't see games out, and you've got in front again. Now, can you go on and win it? Not force the issue instead of just open.
Oh, Reading have won it back in the penalty box. Great chance. Here's Wing, 3-1, and that should be it for Reading. A breakdown in the back line for MK Dons. Reading pounce, won back possession high up the field. It fell in the path of Lewis Wing, who made no mistake from close range. 3-1, 68 minutes gone.
Well, that is the way to do it, Tim. Don't sit back, keep going, putting them under pressure, and they have always looked to play out from the goalkeeper and the two centre-backs in the 6-yard box, but they've got it wrong. They've made a mess. I mean, it was Tommy Smith made a mess, and yeah, the ball fell. Lewis Wing, simple finish, about 7 yards out.
Well, you'd hope that would be the decisive moment
definitely
in the game.
Now, yeah. You've made the subs, you've got 2 goals, 3 went up, go on and win it, even get another.
Possibly. Wrap it all up. But, yeah, with 22 minutes left, and at 3-1 up, of course, MK Dons won't be feeling great about life, especially on the road as well. I mentioned earlier on, they haven't won any of their last 4 away games. And
here we go again. Ooh.
Harvey Nibbs trying to pounce on an underhit back pass, but they scramble it away down their right hand side. Ballard snapping at the heels of the attacker on this right hand side. Here's Wing, steps in. Here's Craig, who can't win it as cleanly as he'd like, and it spins out to Connor Grant. Here come MK Dons now into the Reading penalty box, and again Nelson Abbey's pace helps Reading out, because Max Dean was into the penalty box there and waiting for a chance, but Abbey got back very quickly.
When they've got forward MK Dons into them wide areas, the delivery has been pretty good, Tim, and that was another one that's right where you want it, isn't it? That low one fizzed across the 6-yard box. Now it is a corner. I can only remember them having one, and they took it short early on in the game, and they made a real mess of it, Tim, didn't they?
They took the first corner of the game exactly like that. It ended up back on the halfway line. It's going to be a conversation between the referee and Tommy Smith. Michael Craig's gone across to get involved in the conversation as well. So Reading half zonal, half man-to-man here, defending this corner from the MK Dons left-hand side. In it comes now towards the penalty spot, headed down, and Pereira,
well done,
he'll
good
be
communication,
screaming in the ears there of Ehi Batiam.
Yeah, just let it go. Yeah, he did well, didn't he? Good kick, like I said. Don't want to give away a stupid goal, getting in a bit of a mess.
No, we don't need any more excitement this afternoon, frankly. We'll get down the tunnel at 3-1 and everyone will be happy. Obviously they'll be even happier if they can score a 4th.
Yeah, shove in the back.
Yeah, no doubt about Carson's shove there.
And when's the draw, Tim? Is it Monday?
2:30 tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, it's the afternoon draw.
Yeah, after the Chesterfield against Portsmouth game and before the Crewe against Derby game. Both of those games on the telly tomorrow afternoon, on terrestrial telly as well. So that's good. Not on the BBC, which would be even better, but that's just a personal view.
Yeah, over the weekend, I'm sure there was some last night, Tim, wasn't there? There'll be one tonight. Is it Bromley, Blackpool tonight?
Yeah, it was a good game last night. Barnsley against Horsham finished 3-3. That was on the telly last night.
Yeah,
and,
my friend's manager of, is it Cray Valley Wanderers? And they've got Charlton, so great draw
for the lowest placed
for
team
someone
now,
who I go back a long time, 40 years, or 8 years old, playing with Steve McKim.
And so he's the Cray Valley.
He's the Cray Valley.
Was it Cray Valley Paper Mill?
Yeah, just we call him Cray Valley, Tim. Yeah, so there's a few nice stories. I met my old mate Paul Cook, who I played with at Burnley for years. He's back against his old club Portsmouth. That's one of the big tie for Chesterfield Pompey.
Sheppey losing to Walsall at home 4-1 on the telly last night as well. By the way, Bristol Rovers, they're playing
Magic of the Cup.
Town.
Yeah, they're about 4-1 up at half time. I saw about all the shots to 1, isn't it? That's the score line here. Whether Swindon are down to about 7 men there, I'm not sure.
AD mentioning that a few minutes ago. What were they, 6-1 up, did AD say?
So yeah, there won't be Swindon in the next round, but there's still Oxford.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's not Reading just yet, because MK Dons on the break down the left-hand side. Defenders backing off. Well done to Tyler Bindon, who manages to put in a good challenge and win it back for Reading. And Reading just need a spell of keeping possession here. Down the touchline they goes. He batted him an offside. He must be offside. Yes, flag
But
goes
it's
up.
a foul though, Tim. You've got to go back, haven't
So
you?
Ballard was fouled.
Yeah, he did
and it's
well.
A free kick.
Lovely bit of skill on the far side. Had the shirt pulled.
Highly rated Reading 18-year-old. Ruben Sellers brought him in from Southampton, and that's why. So Reading with a free kick a yard in, and playing it out professionally here. 18 minutes left, 3-1 up for Reading. If they want to get into the second round of the FA Cup, just need to keep their heads, don't they? Here's Nelson Abbey. Abbey plays a good pass forward to Nibbs. That's really nice from Reading. Back to Craig. Craig has a look, no options ahead of him, so goes back to Abbey. Abbey looks incredibly relaxed on the ball again. Carson,
Strong, quick. That's what you want for a centre back.
To Rashisha.
That's nice as well.
Really nice. Rashisha takes it in his path and runs forward over the halfway line at pace. Keeps on going, spins out, finds the pass to Aziz. Doesn't quite have enough pace to reach Aziz though, and that was a shame from Rashisha.
Yeah, that's probably the best bit of football we've played all game, Tim. That, and it worked it well. Came across the pitch. Lots of people involved, and Pereira with a lovely ball out to Rashisha, wasn't it?
Yes, really invited Rashisha to run over the halfway line with it. I thought if Rashisha just popped the brakes on, he'd have picked up a foul, wouldn't he? He was sprinting straight down the middle of the pitch.
I think he wanted to keep the move going,
Yes.
though, Tim, didn't he?
Yeah, which is good to see.
Yeah, it's one of those, Tim. If you play it out wide, the cross comes in and it's a goal, we'd be raving about it, wouldn't we?
Here's Abbey.
Well, there you go. I think Gilby knows he give up, Tim. Just for a second, Gilby thought, I'm in there. And then as soon as he realised it was Abbey running back, just give up.
You'd play Abbey every week, wouldn't you? It doesn't matter who alongside, but he's just got that extra bit. He'll get you out of trouble so often in a game. Harvey Nibbs with an unlikely spin in the centre circle, and then plays a good pass out to Femi Aziz. This is for 4-1. Aziz goes wide. Should have scored. It was a really good bit of build-up from Harvey Nibbs in the centre circle, and then rolled it into the path of Aziz, and still that elusive goal from Aziz we're waiting for.
Did the right thing, though. He sucked the defender and he dragged it onto his right-hand side. I thought it was in, Tim. When he hit it and it went past the goalkeeper, now we're not at a good angle. I don't know how close it was. But yeah, again, it's Nibbs. He's put it on a plate for him, isn't he? They've linked up a couple of times now, the two subs.
He just is not very far away, Aziz, from being a very good player, but those moments you need to
putting
take.
it all together, Tim, is it for these attacking wide players? That's what you got to do. That's how you get judged, Tim, is the end product.
15 minutes left. I wonder if we'll see more substitutions.
They've all been involved though, haven't they?
Yeah, the guys who come on.
The four of them. Sometimes that doesn't always happen, Tim. You can sometimes lose your rhythm
Nelson
a bit.
Abbey has, for the first time this afternoon, put a foot wrong. That was literally the first time he's given the ball away.
That's a foul.
And then, Lewis Wing back up near the centre circle. Fouls. Free kick to MK Dons. And out wide on this right-hand side, Harvey Nibbs pulling the shirt of Cameron Norman. Nibbs may get a yellow card.
Yeah, the tug. He has let a bit go to referees. He's not been overly fussy with the yellow cards. But in that dangerous situation, the tug of the shirt, you know you're going to get one. It was probably a good foul as well. Yeah, he's done all right, Norm. Whenever he's got forward, he's done well.
Cheer from the MK Dons fans. So it looks like I won't be going to MK Dons a week on Tuesday.
Don't say that, Tim. Don't say that. Still 14 minutes left there.
Yeah, I'm quite keen to be doing other things a week on Tuesday. So here comes the free kick. In fact, we've got Arsenal under-21s here.
That's what in the pizza trophy.
As you call it, yeah.
And you get to Wembley, don't you?
Here comes the free kick then from the right-hand side. MK Dons had lots of pace, and the glancing header goes wide. So that was a little bit of a scare for Reading. But with 13 minutes left, it remains 3-1. Whipped in with lots of pace from the right-hand side. We'll go off around the grounds in just a moment, see how it's going at the Abbey Stadium. Last we heard, Bracknell a couple down, and we'll find out how it's going at the Kassam Stadium with AD in a couple of minutes as well. But we'll just watch this play from Reading. A goal kick. Pereira is going to take it long, straight down the middle of the pitch, trying to pick out Ballard. Ballard's header neatly into the path of Nibbs. Nibs to Carson. Carson's got Michael Craig inside him. Craig just about gets away with that. Nearly went out of play. Here's Abbey. Reading at times looking a bit too relaxed on the ball now, but all good learning for these youngsters.
Yeah, because it only takes one, doesn't it, a goal, and again you're going to be
game on,
sort of hanging on.
But if it stays like this, let's just watch this, because here come MK Dons. Pereira's kick didn't go well, and a curled effort is blocked by the Reading defence. Up to Aziz. Rashisha is on the ball down the right hand side. We've got 4 against 3 here if Reading can shift it. Rashisha rolls it through to Aziz. Really good pass from him on the corner of the MK Dons penalty box. Aziz with a spin, goes square. Here's Nibs for a brace. Nibs gone selfishly to Aziz. Aziz is tackled, and now Reading needs to race back because it's MK Dons on a counter attack. Up to the halfway line they move it. The counter attack lost a bit of momentum, and Reading have got their defenders back. MK Dons on the ball. Well, there was half a chance there for Aziz and for Nibs.
And the MK Dons, a poor kick. The arm went up, didn't it, from Pereira, saying sorry. You don't want to be doing that at this stage of the game.
No, you don't. 11 minutes left, 3-1 up. Second round of the FA Cup beckoning. It was a lovely pass out of defence for MK Dons. Out to the right hand side. Here's Norman, who's got space to move it in. Good looking cross again, but it goes out and for a goal kick. And here's our opportunity at 3-1 up Reading to nip off to the Abbey Stadium, and the latest from Rita Green.
Cambridge United 2, Bracknell Town 0. So still the same scoreline since last you came to me, Tim, but there's been a massive penalty shout for Bracknell that looks stonewall for many people, I would say, in the ground, including the home fans as well. That resulted also in a red card for assistant manager Lee Reddell, who protested at that decision. He's been sent to the stand. So since the own goal just after half time, there's been lots of huffing and puffing from the Robins, but certainly nothing to show for it, and certainly no shots on target. 345 fans from Bracknell, but anyway, Tim, still here 2-0 up to Cambridge United.
Double substitution for MK Dons. Jogging on the pitch now is Callum Tripp, and also about to come on, just waiting for the
someone who I played against about 20 years ago for AFC Wimbledon. What a servant he's been. I can't believe he's still going, Tim, but yeah, you can imagine he got a big cheer from the MK Dons fans. He must have played about 1,200 games, I think, by now.
So Dean Lewington is on, and we've got Pereira taking a goal kick for Reading with 10 minutes left. We'll be off to Maidenhead against Oxford at the Kassam Stadium shortly. Michael Craig heads forward. Ballard defends stoutly, has his body in the way of it. Aziz to Rashisha breaking down the right. He's got Lewis Wing on his shoulder. He uses Lewis Wing back out to Rashisha. Wing was flattened after he'd lost the ball, or after he'd let the ball go out to Rashisha. The referee is unconcerned by that. Here's Michael Craig with a clever spin on the halfway line. He's got Aziz to the right. Can he use Aziz?
Yeah, he's looking, he was trying to thread it,
and he realised that wasn't quite on.
Just that they did well, MK Dons, to just shut the lane off. Again, take care with those. It was Lewis Wing, wasn't it, who was a bit careless there? Just getting a bit sloppy, Tim, there.
Well, this is learning
from
the
losing it again. Yeah, that's what you said, just seeing games out, knowing what to do the basics. And
3-1, you'd hope Reading have got enough in the bank.
Don't give MK Dons a sniff, because it only takes one goal, Tim. And
out to the right hand side, they're going to see another substitution for Reading. Next time the ball goes out, we'll be off to the Kassam Stadium. Pereira's come miles out of his box, smashes it skywards. It'll drop on the halfway line. Ehi Batiaman and Ballard both watch it bounce. Reading needs to win it here. Carson tries to do that. Little turn away from Nibs by Gilby. Out to the left hand side. Let's nip across very briefly to the Kassam Stadium.
Perfect timing, because Oxford, the home side here, have doubled their lead. It's now Oxford 2, Maidenhead 0. Billy Bowden with a brace on the afternoon. Of course, his dad, Paul Bowden, a Wales international, and a brief spell at Reading Football Club. I was just thinking, 7 minutes remaining. When will Maidenhead throw the kitchen sink at Oxford? They made a couple of substitutions. They brought on Harry Parsons and Charlie Adams, and they did have a go, but unfortunately this tie, if you're a Maidenhead fan, looks like it's done and dusted. 6 minutes remaining. Oxford 2, Maidenhead 0.
Michael Craig fouls in midfield, so a free kick to MK Dons, which is taken quickly. Reading 3, MK Dons 1. Here's the ball played forward. Tyler Bindon keeps his balance and volleys it out of play. Here comes the next substitution. And who's this going to be? Glenn, can you see down there? Is it
Dorset? 20.
Yeah, Dorset's coming on. Who for, I wonder? Presumably it'll be Tyler Bindon or Nelson Abbey, one of the central defenders, but they could do anything here.
Do you shore it up, just put him in, and
maybe Lewis Wing. Take Lewis Wing off if he's going to play on Tuesday. He's done a fair bit of running in central midfield.
You've made all the attacking subs, haven't you?
Out on the left hand side, MK Dons into the penalty box. Nice little lead.
A bit unlucky.
Max Dean. And then cleared up to the other end of the pitch. Pereira gesturing wildly to get his team shifting up the pitch, defending a bit higher. So Dorset awaits for Reading.
I've got a feeling he might be waiting a while. The ball just might not go out here. MK Don's going to be keeping it. We're just going to be sat in.
MK Don's doing exactly that at the moment. There's a free kick. MK Dons take it quickly, clip it over the halfway line.
There's a good touch by Gilby.
Yeah, and a spin as well from Gilby. Into midfield, MK Dons manoeuvre the ball. Here's another chance, then running down the left-hand side. MK Dons into the Reading penalty box. There's a shot, and it hits the side netting. And some of the Reading fans are jeering at the MK Dons fans for their cheer. Now, Carson's coming off and Dorset is coming on. We hadn't called that. But that is the change that Ruben Sellers is making.
Little warning though, Tim, wasn't it? He did well. They worked that really well, really good football, and he's cut inside on his right foot, but he's fired it into the side netting.
Dorset jogs on for Reading, who are 3-1 up. 5 minutes left in the game, plus some stoppage time. Surely, Glenn, surely.
Yeah, surely.
Be all right now, won't they?
And Abbey, it looks like Dorset's gone centre back though, and Abbey's gone to left back.
Yep.
For Carson, but he's done well. Carson, tough competitor, wasn't he?
Yeah, and that lovely ball that set up the Harvey Nibbs free kick goal was his highlight. He's played some good passes. He's very good on the ball, Carson. He's got a lovely range of passing. Classic left back, isn't he?
Yeah.
Had a few good ones over the years.
Tough, competitive.
Here's Aziz into the feet of Ballard to Nibbs. Reading into the penalty box, goes square. Eddie Battyman not quite quick enough to get on the end of the move. Out to the far side, Aziz working hard to try and win it back for Reading. On the edge of the penalty box. And the visitors there.
They've worked out well. I've just thought for a minute they were going to get themselves in trouble again, but they've actually worked that out really well.
Reading's most recent goal came through overpassing. That's a great ball into Ballard, who is going to see his shot cleared off the line. It looked like it would be 4-1 there. He skipped round the goalkeeper. Reading still with good energy, pressing high up the pitch. Dorset to Nibbs. Nibbs back to Ballard. Ballard on the edge of the box tries to turn it out to Nibbs, and it's a throw. Well, Ballard had done the hard work. They just couldn't quite get enough power on the shot to get over the line.
Just a bit too heavy, Tim, and then in the end the goalkeeper closed him down and he had nothing else to do than dink it over him, but couldn't get enough on it. You knew, didn't you, it was agony watching it go towards goal, because you knew that the defender was going to get back and clear it.
Yeah, so Ballard was about 16 yards out and he had the ball at his feet. He tried to shift it away to the goalkeeper, to Ballard's right, and then the shot just trickled rather than had enough power to make it over the line, and the goal line clearance was made by the covering defender. So it's still 3-1 to Reading. 3.5 minutes left. Here's Abbey. Craig in the centre of midfield. Reading would love a
just keep the possession now.
Round things off.
Run that clock down.
Yeah, that's the professional footballer talking. It's a ball.
Here we go again.
Ballard. Is Ballard onside? Yes, he is. Ballard now into the penalty box. Here comes his shot, and he's missed the target, and that's not a good finish from Don Ballard. That really should be game over now.
That was awful, that, wasn't it, Tim? That was someone. No, it just didn't look like he knew what he was going to do with it, Tim. And I think he thought he wanted it on his right foot, but then his touch took it on his left foot, and that was a shocker.
MK Dons running out of gas. Reading attacking.
Should have had a few more now, Tim, shouldn't we? There's been a few chances now, and he has done all right, Ballard. He's all action, isn't he? Full of energy, but you need to take those chances.
Aziz takes it in his stride down the right-hand side. Ehi Batium waiting in the middle, but that's a really poor cross from Aziz. And these are the moments. We talked about this being a young team and they can learn, but really they're just being so wasteful at the moment.
The end product, isn't it? It should have been definitely game over now. Still a couple of minutes left, and I suppose if you are going to put a bad cross in, put it by the corner flag.
But even
keep them there. Yes, good opportunity. You could have done anything with that, Tim. You could have carried it on. Could you have taken it in the corner? And 3 or 4 things you could have done, and
it was
the fifth.
A wrong decision, and it was poor execution from Aziz. Here is the goalkeeper Pereira. 2 minutes left on the clock. We'll get a bit of stoppage time, no doubt. Reading 3-1 up. Pereira knocks it forward. Ballard controls on his chest and in the centre circle sees it out to Aziz. Aziz with a shimmy tries to play it straight down the middle. We'll be back to the Abbey Stadium in a moment. MK Dons bringing it up to the halfway line. And we just need to hold here, because what we don't want to see as Reading fans is a goal to MK Dons and a grandstand finish as the crossfield switch is hit by MK Dons out to that left-hand side. Here's Connor Grant. Grant checks it back to the top of the box. Dorset gets his body in the way of it. Smashed away by Bindon, and it'll bounce out of play, so we can go to the Abbey Stadium again. And Rita.
Cambridge United 2, Bracknell Town 1. A brilliant goal from substitute Ben Harris into the top right-hand corner. Brilliant effort, which keeps this tie alive, Tim. And the 345 Bracknell Town fans went absolutely nuts to my left when that goal went in. So we've got a grandstand finish here. 3 minutes to go of standard time in this game, but you never know. It could be a draw and even a win.
Femi Aziz into the penalty box, jinks onto his left foot, little bit of trickery. Aziz back out to wing. Reading still 3-1 up into the last minute of the 90. Craig gets it back. Across he goes to Wing. Wing considers knocking it forward. Now back into the feet of Bindon. And Reading passing the ball around at the back pretty well. Keeping possession now, Glenn.
Yeah, seeing it out. I'd say we're probably going to have another 5 or 6. We say with all the subs and the goals going in, Tim. So, yeah, it's not going to be over just yet. You'd have liked to really finish it off, taking a couple of those chances, but that you'd have to say 5. There we go, Tim.
Yeah.
But the subs have definitely improved things, wouldn't you say?
I would definitely say that. Yeah, they've
in the second half has been better, just going forward as an attacking force.
Here's Rashisha on the return from Aziz, short to wing. Yeah, Nibs and Aziz definitely brought some energy in immediately, didn't they? They had an impact.
But what you've got to do, Tim, that they've earned the right to start, haven't they? But then you've got to back it up, Tim. If you come on as a sub and do well, when you get your start, you have to perform from the start. You can't just be one of those players who...
Here's Abbey's pace, and he's given away a foul. Abbey was the only player who... and they took the free kick quickly, MK Dons, and Nibs read it well. Here's the cross coming in from Nelson Abbey. He's enjoying getting down that left-hand side. He was the only player on the pitch who would have caused MK Dons a problem there with his pace. It's still 3-1, and now it's back with Pereira.
Yeah, like I said, Tim, when you start, that's when you've got to back up a good substitute performance. You can't sort of just keep teasing people where, like, you start, I have to take you off, and then when I put you on as sub, you do well. You need to do it whole 90 minutes. But it's definitely been a better second half.
We'll have post-match reaction with the manager, Ruben Sellers, and with the managers in the other games as well. Alan Devonshire, Carl Withers will be with us before 6. We'll hear from some of the Reading fans, no doubt a Reading player or two as well. Heading into that important game on Tuesday evening, Bristol Rovers in the league. I wonder if this can spark a recovery in league form for Reading. 3-1 at the moment, only 3 minutes of stoppage time remaining at the SCL. Rashisha trying to get across to block the next threat into the middle of the midfield. MK Dons carry it. That's a good ball forward down the right hand side, and it's cleared away. Tyler Bindon flying in to clear that away as Cameron Norman got the cross in. and that was again fantastic defending.
Yeah, brilliant from Bindon, because it could have even been an own goal. It was a simple tap in, wasn't it? We've seen Norman time and time again. He's got down this right hand side. His delivery's been really good, and he's put it on a plate, but Bindon did well and got it back behind for a corner.
In swinging corner for MK Dons from the right hand side, deep in stoppage time, headed away to the edge of the box. Femi Aziz will have to have another go at trying to clear it. Comes back in, Bindon heads it out. Here's the shot through the crowd. Pereira makes a good first save, but the second follow-up is there. Max Dean scores for MK Dons. Pereira looks the assistant referee, but it's not coming, his decision, and it's 3-2 now, and we've got 2 minutes of stoppage time remaining.
Yeah, I was going to say with Bindon, with the clearance, Tim, it's probably too late anyway, but it's still a great, he stopped a goal, but we're going to find out if it was too late, because they followed up from the corner, haven't they? It was a really good save from Pereira, but it's come out and they put the rebound in, and we've got a booking.
Bindon got a yellow card for holding onto the ball in the back of the net to try and waste some time, and the retaliation from the MK Dons player also sees a booking. So it's 3-2 now, and surely Reading aren't going to blow this.
Like I said, Tim, I thought even Bindon, when he saved a certain goal there, it would have probably been too late, but now we're going to find out, because there's 2 minutes left, and MK Dons did score from the following corner.
And they'll come out all guns blazing, MK Dons. Hopefully Reading can match them for energy.
Now this is where you're thinking, Ballard, those chances now.
Yeah.
That would have wrapped the game up.
Abbey gives it away on the halfway line. Across comes the midfielder Craig, who smashes it into the MK Dons technical area. So I reckon we've got 1 minute of stoppage time left, though we're bound to have a little bit more because of the goal. And Reading have had a habit of conceding very late on in recent weeks, at the end of each half. Throw to MK Dons.
Have they got a long throw, Tim? We haven't seen it in the game so far.
I wonder if we will now. O'Hara.
Yeah, O'Hara, he's come across. It doesn't look like it with the way they've set up.
O'Hara takes the throw now, running for the return.
And they're going to get another corner.
Michael Craig puts a challenge in.
And everyone's up. They're saying for the goalkeeper to go up.
You'd have thought Michael Kelly would get up. There's no point
Here he
otherwise.
comes, Tim. And the crowd, look, getting behind the 500 MK Dons fans. One big cheer.
So Payne's corner for MK Dons. Seconds left, 3-2 down. Here comes the corner. Pereira punches clear, and now there's no goalkeeper at the other end. Ballard needs to knock it forward. It's come back. Ballard didn't get it. Here's a chance for MK Dons into the penalty box. Abbey and
Great
Dorset recovering. Ball spins out. The keeper for MK Dons has got back into his penalty box, and it's a throw for MK Dons at the other end of the pitch.
Well, Ballard should have done better, shouldn't he? Tim, the goalkeepers in the 18-yard box.
Here's Daniel Harvey with a long throw. A couple of seconds of stoppage time left. Headed away off the near post. Back to Harvey, who settles for another throw next to the corner flag. MK Dons desperately trying to get an equaliser here. Little spin. Here comes the cross on the right-hand side. Headed down. Reading hoping to clear this time. And Craig does clear it over the halfway line. We've had 5.5 minutes of stoppage time. We were only meant to have 5, but we did have the goal. That's a decent crossfield ball. Flag stays down. Harvey with the cross again. Pereira comes a long way out. There was a bundle on the far post.
Tim.
Rashisha has knocked over the MK Dons runner. No penalty, says the referee. But you can understand why MK Dons are fuming, because that, Glenn, looked like it could be a penalty.
Tim, that's one on the VAR. You could have been in trouble. People talk about the VAR in the Premier League, don't they? But sometimes in League One, FA Cup, we haven't got it, and that rescued us there.
There's the final whistle. Reading progress through to the second round of the FA Cup. A bit of a scare in stoppage time, but they win 3-2, and Reading will be in the hat tomorrow at 2:30 for the draw for round 2. Underwear will be heading in that one, first weekend in December for Reading. And you can understand why the MK Dons players are surrounding the referee and are absolutely fuming, because that then looked like a penalty.
Like I said, Tim, they're not easy to give at this level without the VAR. When a ball comes in, someone goes down. But that was definitely one. If on the replay there, in the back, cross comes in,
so
could have easily been given.
The right back for Reading, Rashisha, was trying to track the runner on the far side of the pitch as the cross came in from the MK Don's right-hand side. There was a runner in towards the far post, and Rashica just got in a tangle as he was moving into the penalty box. He was definitely inside
in the back
box
as well.
when he came down.
It's in the back, Tim, as well. It's one of those on the halfway line. You get the free kick, don't you? But the referee, I don't know whether he saw it. Like I said, you're just happy like there isn't the VAR.
Happier times for Reading, and a huge sigh of relief as the fans head off into the car park and into the night with a win for Reading, an FA Cup win. Shame it's not 3 points really, but they've done the job. Most of the fans have left already. There were only ever 4,313 in, so very small attendance, but those who came will be pleased of the result. Reading beating MK Dons by 3-1.
4,094 here at the Kassam Stadium. No grandstand finish here from Maidenhead, I'm afraid to say.